And there's like everyone can have their own tent in their own spot. Okay, yeah, that's the diving board. Fish you out and ask you over and over, what the hell are you thinking? Do you guys remember the day when I was climbing on the church and everybody else kept falling off and getting knocked out? And Bailey got so mad at me? I was like, it's not my fault. I'm just better at this than everybody else. It's so wild to think that I had no idea where Julius and Bailey's relationship was going to go from there. It's amazing that she puts up with him. Julius is definitely very agile. Where is the path to what I'm thinking of? Down there. There for me. I should have paid more attention when Bailey was showing me around. I don't know this side of the island very well, which I love. Not this way. Maybe it's a completely different path. Okay, let's back up. I think it is a completely different path. I'm not sure. I like to think if Julius is a D&D character, he'd have super high charisma, of course, intelligence, but also very dexterous. Not so good on, like, strength, for sure. You're paying attention to her ass. Hey, Donkey! Did Donkey make... Donkey made it to the top! No, Donkey! Donkey, don't die! Oh, boy. Ah! Come on, Donkey. Oh, God. God. Oh, God. We got this. We got this. Oh! No, 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 no. No! 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 I should have left the fucking donkey to die. I should have left the donkey to die. Oh, I don't want to res though, because I'll lose my shit. Uh... What am I gonna do, guys? The chances of someone finding me here are like non-existent. The fucking donkey scream. What are we gonna do? Fuck. Well, this is unfortunate. Well, I guess we can hang out for a while and see by some fucking miracle somebody comes by. I don't see it happening, but you never know. Nickel method is foolproof. Does it seem like a coincidental Herbie situation? It would be nice. It would be nice. I think that may be. But in the meantime, while we wait to see what happens, we can figure out our plan. Like, what is our day gonna look like? What is not as our day gonna look like? What is our party gonna look like? Shit. I know. Oh god, here's the thing: is that if I lose so much shit, and I really, Well, I'm like, how much do I need to leave Gorma today? Could we go play another character and just log on to Julius tonight and see if somebody finds me, you know? Like I mean, the good thing at least is that I'm on a path. I'm on a path. I'm I'm not somewhere that a lot of people come through, but I'm not in the middle of the woods. At least I have $1,000 cash on me. I have $1,000 cash and 2 very valuable guns. And I have everything else I think I can replace, luckily. But that's a lot of fucking money. Oh god. Because I could recreate the guns. I don't have my document folder on me, thank god. Time for a lost shift on Ortega. I might. We'll give it a while, and then if nobody shows up, $30,000. I know. Who just carries around $30,000 in their pocket? A fucking idiot. Minor arc, yeah. The sad thing is that I've been grinding to make money for the events. Why am I like this? Okay. Let's segue into. No. 30 grand in 2023 US dollars is what we're saying, Peaky. It's only $1,000. Pitbull of Gorma, of course, exactly. I'm Mr. Worldwide. I carry around $1,000 in my pocket. I actually, here's the thing, Peaky. I think Alwa and a couple others have asked me, like, how much money does Julius have? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. That's the best part, is that I keep turning my money into, like, gems. So I don't know how much money I have. I would guess anywhere from $4,000 to $10,000. And that's a huge range. Because I really don't know. I don't know how many gems I have. Because that's one of the things I decided, is that I was like, I don't want to use the banks while I'm on the run, except for the fact for item storage, because like just item storage is limited. Ashen Rabbit, hello, welcome. Mr. Worldwide has taken a tumble off of a donkey, and it did not end well. Julius is one of those guys who checks an old saddlebag and says, "Hey, diamonds." Yep. I mean, here's the thing. At least we're somewhere like very achievable for someone to find us. It is like we're not. If we were like deep in the jungle, I would just respawn. I would say there's absolutely no fucking way. At least here, there is a very, very small but existent chance that someone will find me. If I was in the jungle, I would just respawn. I would say no. I mean, I've had weirder ones. I had once where I died on the beach, like behind some rocks, and I ended stream because I thought I wasn't going to get found. Yep, very small but existent chance, exactly. But I ended stream because I was like, I'd been streaming for a while, and I was like, you know what, fuck this. I'm just gonna end stream, and if somebody finds me, they find me. And then like an hour later, Shell and Two Hands on Ori and Huxley found me. And it was like, and I was way north side of the island. They just happened to be walking around. So, you know, who the fuck knows? Yeah, no, Lil B, I've done that where like I pay people if I have the money on me, their cut for the bars and the bonds after a bank job, and then I'm like, oh, huh. Yeah. What if Rabbit found me and then was like, you're being extradited? Rabbit found me and was like, I'm gonna bring you to your feet in the crossing, and you're going to prison. uh okay, for real. So we'll transfer this into a journal in character, but go to my drive, and we're gonna start a new document. New sheet. Okay. Maybe Cash. If Cash found me, that would be so fucking funny. Of all places for him to be. Okay. So, let's see. The first we have belated birthday 5 train. And I think the idea for the train is it's like it'd be safer to do the Western Loop. But I think the Eastern Loop has the really cool views, and yeah, I think we got to do the Eastern Loop. The question is like, what is the path though? I wonder if there is a path that kind of avoids the towns, or maybe we go through the towns at the end. I'm trying to think like what is gonna give us the best chances of at least getting through most of the trip, right? Because the law will probably stop us at some point. Maybe Henrietta can talk him down, maybe not. But like, I don't actually really know what the loops are. I wish I played more trains, so I would know better, kind of like what um the different paths are. Because I know there's like multiple lines. Fancy dress, that'd be great. She would tend to be offended rich folk. Oh no, 100% Peaky. It's gonna be masks required. It's a masquerade party, so masks required. Which I hope will make the law feel like this could be way too confusing. Um, and yeah, I think fancy dress for sure. And I think that's exactly it. Masks and fancy dress. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Julius already has an outfit ready for this, by the way. I got this outfit ages ago. Can you ride it up through the top part of the map away from the town? You definitely can, Little B. And so I'm trying to think, like, would it make more sense for us to start the loop? Because, like, you can do that whole path through the mountains, which would be the ideal place to lose the law. Here's the thing. So if we're going to get chased, up in the mountains would be the ideal place to lose the law, because we could hop off the train at so many points and disappear into the woods, right? So maybe, and I know there's also like a path that kind of cuts through like New Hanover, so maybe that's the line we do. Like, we start at Emerald, and then the only town we pass through is Valentine, right? We go Emerald, Valentine, loop down past Flatneck, past Riggs, past Wallace, up through the Grizzlies. All the, whoa! What the? What was that? Is that you, donkey? I swear to God. Like dirt coming down. I can't see. Is anybody there?
Hear a donkey down here. Ah!
Herbie!
Oh, I landed on it.
Herbie!
Julius!
Don't fall like I did.
I'm not gonna fall.
Okay, good.
Why would I fall? Are you riding a fucking donkey down this thing?
It's a long story. Technically, I was trying to ride the
Is that a
donkey
yes?
back up, and it did not work.
Okay, so the donkey was down.
I started bringing the donkey down.
Oh my god.
I found the ladder, and then I was gonna try to take the donkey back up, and it did not work.
Well, this donkey is apparently lives here now, mountain donkey. Oh, you're lucky. It's a good thing I was just checking out those fucking medical. I believe it's called a doctor's office. Now that I use my brain. Why are you with a donkey down here?
I was scouting out locations, thinking about the festival, and well, it was not a smart thing to do on my own, apparently.
At least you discovered that this could be an event where we don't have to worry about donkeys dying. People, on the other hand, we care less about. Somebody, I got a note saying somebody was fucking around with medical stuff. Playa came up here. It looks like somebody may have removed some anti-venom vials from the medical office.
The hell is that about? Okay.
I don't know. And then I heard a donkey.
The one time that brain is useful. Oh my god.
This is what I heard as I started walking by. And I have a donkey. So I went, wait, that wasn't you. Gonna be stuck here for a while.
I'm sure find
Or
his
maybe
way back.
walk down.
Yeah, exactly.
Never seen Natalie around, have you?
No, you are the first person I have seen today.
Oh, well, very lucky for both of us. Have you talked to Boone recently?
We talked a little bit. He has apparently a very similar, but perhaps tamer idea for a festival as well.
Yes. Well, we had Guarmania months ago. Multi-day festival that Romeo and Lydia planned. So, but it's similar. We got a couple events each day. 2 days, 3 days. All right.
Ooh.
Ready? There you go. Come on.
All right, thank you.
You're going to have to maybe take it easy before you climb up there. Are you heading down or up?
I was heading back up, and I was trying to get the donkey up with me, and well,
Well, this donkey can find its own goddamn way up.
how about you? You heading back to the medical office, or?
No, I was already there. Somebody was rifling in that cabinet.
Strange.
Shit, I gotta go hide. Natalie Amber's mailbox was gone. That's fun. Yeah. It was probably termites. Yeah, I don't know. You better take it easy.
Yep, my head is killing me.
Yeah, you gotta be like that. See? No falling on a donkey. Allow me to demonstrate. This arena needs. I hate to say this, but I gotta get another death match going.
Yeah, I was thinking, maybe for this festival we start with just a regular old fist fight, and then the next event we do that knife throwing thing you was talking about.
You gotta have something scary, don't you think?
Down here? Well, I mean, we could
Well,
have.
anyway, I mean, we gotta have some scary things going on that you can't do in the crossing.
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm thinking we don't want to do all the terrible things on the same day, right? Ain't gonna be nobody left to compete with.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking. We prioritize a couple things, and then, we have shit. I think a death match would be fantastic. Get to find somebody who's willing to compete in one.
Well, I always. Clive didn't know this, but if there's no two people, then one person, he's the champion. He has to keep defending. It's a trap.
We'd even at least need the one person, man.
Yeah. So if somebody need one person at least, but I'd rather not have him fight again. It doesn't seem fair, judging by the last one. Plus, it doesn't have to be machetes, It could just be fists. It could be pistolas, anything. Stand there and throw hatchets at each other. I don't necessarily know if I want to watch this. I mean, I will. I feel obligated. It's fucking hot here tonight. Even more than usual. I just realized that I haven't been here in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Sure
it's
gonna keep
always
warming
hot.
up.
It's always hot, but I got here in September. Maybe I came here at the tail end. It was very hot. July here, I imagine, is brutal.
Yeah. Here, let me see what I've got so far. So originally I was thinking maybe just Saturday, Sunday, but I think we could even do like a little Friday opening ceremony sort of thing, right? And then have majority events on Saturday, the calmer event, and the violent events on Sunday, right? And I was thinking too, right? It's April. Maybe we make it some sort of spring festival, something like that.
Okay. It's you just gotta figure out the name for it, right?
So for events, we're thinking when people come in, have some booths, some vendors, that sort of thing. Boone mentioned maybe some like custom Warmer branded weapons. And then for the actual events, I've got scavenger hunt, gambling, of course. Boone mentioned a fashion competition. Boone also mentioned some poetry, maybe some sort of like open performance. But here's the thing, right? I figured we have a whole itinerary of events, and then people can kind of come and go as they please. And then, the psychos like me that don't mind being around all day to facilitate. Also, we may have to narrow down to like, let's get our favorite idea.
Instead of fashion pageant, we do the Mr. and Mrs. Guam or whatever pageant.
Mr. and Mrs. Guam.
And whatever, Mrs. whatever we want to call it. But we do the pageant. And then in that, there's a fashion competition, there's a talent portion, and we judge how good looking people's faces are. And here's the reason I do this.
Uh-huh.
It's open. it's open to anybody who's set foot on this place before. We get a big old prize, right? And then, well, if anybody wins, there's fine print. They're obligated to move here for a week.
Wait.
No,
What if we have this as a separate event later? Because then everybody who comes out for this festival will be eligible to come back for the pageant, right?
Okay.
And then
We
they'll
can
have time
announce
to
it,
prepare
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Hey,
I
in
like
2
that.
weeks, come back for the Guarma. I still think we call it Mr. Guarma, open to men and women, open to everybody.
I like it.
And then, okay, so I think we gotta at some point you gotta have a poker game going on this weekend. Plan thing. I think you gotta have another high stakes one. You could do it for horses again. Well, that was the last. Romeo did one for guns, the last one.
Okay.
Maybe you do. The buy-in is whatever, $1,000 and a bag of gems. Whatever it is, something huge.
Okay.
You send people. We got to give notice because people will be scrambling for a bag of gems. Was it Charlie that mentioned it, talking to the Pavi that they want to be involved with us again, right?
Yes. And specifically, I was thinking. So Saturday night, we have a big, beautiful dinner party. And I've already talked to the Pavi about this special, and I won't even try to pronounce it, but this special alcohol they brew. And could get an order of that and have that be the refreshments for the party. And I remember you talking about getting some fine cuts of beef from the crossing. We can do that as well. Have it all a big, flashy dinner that night.
I think that sounds good. The inauguration. Yeah, what do you call it? Not the inaugural. The opening festival, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, opening night.
I'm starting to think I stole some medicine the way my brain's working.
Yeah, and then we have some sort of dance party, and then for the blood sport day, right?
Dance.
That's when I was thinking the machete races with the donkeys, right? And I did like that idea of that climbing race where they climb up the mountain and they don't have weapons, but they can punch each other, that sort of thing.
That's fucked up. Yeah.
Right?
Diving competition. We gotta have it.
Oh, diving competition.
So you can do it at the bar down there, or you could do it off the fucking cliff here. It's higher. I say we start at the bar, and then you have people judging. You know, a dive because you can't. No one does a diving competition. We got a board. We got the ocean. Last time I dove off there, the ocean moved out of the way, but that's a different story. They don't need to know that. It dodged. Better come back here and kiss this donkey's ass at some point. Still be down here.
I know.
I just want to. I don't know if you're gonna get rid of it. Aww. It's off in the distance.
Yeah, I owe you one, buddy.
You get up here now. You feeling spry?
Yeah, I'm feeling much better. Oh my goodness.
Which is the type of woman I was into for a while.
Wait, what? Hold on, repeat that?
I said, the good thing they're sturdy but dumb.
Oh, I see. Sturdy but dumb. Okay.
I like a woman with a strong foundation, but no education. That was many phases ago. Many phases ago. At the risk of y'all, this place is full of arts and crafts. We should have some type of artistic painting thing, like like one of those things where people drink alcohol and paint.
Oh yeah.
Look,
Like,
you sit right here. Fucking paint this.
Yeah, you remember Wine and Whittle Wednesdays?
Yes, I remember never going. So my doggy wandered all the way fuck over here. Find your way back. Go get your friend. Aurelia is around. I
Oh,
think.
that's good. I ain't seen her in ages.
To get the paper going. I think that's gonna be big.
Yeah, paper's very important, I agree.
She already cranked out 5 of those guidebooks, and those were heavy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the first edition of the Howler, or whatever we wind up calling this thing, it's got to have, hey, coming soon, this event. So we got to nail it down. And then, if we only got 5, 6 copies of this, of a newspaper, it's got to go for a price to the right people.
Yeah, I feel like the newspaper, though, it's beneficial to have, as many copies as you can reasonably pass out, you know? Whatever the demand may be for them.
Not to talk about a totally different subject. But did Boone tell you about his investigation anymore?
Not since that first
To
day.
Mishka?
No.
Well, she has left the island.
Okay. Oh,
I know who cut her wrists.
you do?
Do you have any suspicions?
Yeah, I've got my own theories.
Well, this person already spoke to Rabbit about what happened before Rabbit left.
Okay.
This person who runs the bar.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't see anything wrong with what she did. Which, let me put it this way. It's a real fucked up way of thinking. But I understand why she thinks she didn't do anything wrong.
Sure.
Because she's fucked up. And Mishka was asking, I guess they wanted to help Mishka. And this was their idea. We're taking a shortcut.
I see. And, what, did Mishka ask for this, or they just took it upon themselves?
No, I don't think she knew she was getting her wrist cut. But Delilah seemed to say that they told her this isn't easy, this is going to be difficult, and there's going to be a lot of pain.
I see.
I don't know. I don't even know how effective it was. But Mishka just left to go look for Rabbit, I think. But Delilah told Rabbit and explained what happened. So
What did Rabbit say, do you know?
I have no idea, but they seem to be talking just fine. And Rabbit was still discussing coming back and getting that thing started and all of that.
It's fascinating how much Rabbit is willing to, let slide when they're over here.
This one is a quizzical thing. I don't know. I'm assuming Rabbit probably still wants to talk to Mishka about it.
I mean, no, judgment on my end, more just interesting, wonder if it was a different perpetrator or a different victim back over in the crossing 6 months ago. How they'd react then, that's all.
Oh, well, this place would be in jail. I would assume so. But this place frees some people from responsibilities, I guess.
And I assume...
And the only reason I'm the only reason I'm saying anything is because Lila didn't seem to give a shit. She just flat out told us, yeah, I didn't do anything wrong. I told her what we were doing.
Sure.
So...
And I take it, Drummer was the other one involved.
Probably. I forget what she said. God, the fucking sunlight. So aggressive. I've been here so long, I'm not used to this still. But yeah, so that, happen.
And so Boone is investigating Mishka, you're saying?
Oh, no. Boone was still looking into it. He spoke to Mishka before she left, and then I said, yeah, I know who did it. So I figured. He also gave me quite the write-up, arguing his case that Edgar shooting him broke the ceasefire because he wants him punished by the militia for it. So I told him I would show the militia.
Sure.
Now, number one, we don't know where the fuck Edgar is. So I said, well, we can always just hold a trial. Edgar's going to have to agree, or the militia's going to have to tell him we're holding a trial, and they could argue their case.
Now,
he made points well enough that I think he could make an argument in front of people, but I still don't know if I agree with it.
Sure. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. What I understand from what you said and from what Dr. Natalie said and all that the militia is fairly hands-off with this kind of thing, right?
Right, but if I said the militia declares a ceasefire and somebody breaks it, then the militia has to punish them. So that's the dangers of me saying something like that to try to help everybody.
I see.
Yep. So that'll teach me a lesson now.
No, well, the reason I ask is because I've been doing a lot of thinking about kind of, the long term and what this place could use and how we could help facilitate people living out here and feeling safe and comfortable out here, right? And feeling like there's, it ain't the crossing certainly, but there's some sort of, structure and consequence and all that. So I've been working on a whole system, frankly. I don't know if anybody's going to have any damn interest in it, but may help alleviate some of these issues that people have.
Well, I'd love to hear it. My thought was always just hampered by the need for people. And it's, if I could get, we were very, very close. I think we were so close before all this fighting broke out. I think if we had 4 would be perfect. 3, I could see it working. 3 groups form a fucking council of the island, and then guess what? You all can vote on rules for the island for yourselves, or at least on your places.
Yep. No,
and that's it.
Very
then
much
you have an agreement.
Mm-hmm.
But it's people, right? That's the key.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I think it's one of those things where it starts with whoever we got now, right? And then hopefully this weekend we'll get some folk wanting to spend more time out here. And as folk, make it clear they would like to at least primarily reside on the island, if not exclusively, then they can get voted in and added to this council. And everybody, it just keeps growing as people come in and out of the island and all that.
We do have a couple people that showed up.
Oh, okay.
Intention of staying there some time. Oh, God, I don't remember the guy's name, but they're both wearing cats on their damn head.
Oh, interesting.
It was a native gentleman with a big black cat on his head. And I forget his name. God damn it. And then the woman who couldn't see very well, her name was Snow. She's from Tall Trees. She won't put on a goddamn pair of shoes. But I gave him a little tour, and they said they're going to find a place to stay, and they were going to be here a while. And she came here to look for kind of medical knowledge, but not from a doctor. And she knows about plants and stuff, so I need Natalie to talk to her. So that could be good people to get involved too. New people, and that's part of the thing too. If you can promise people, look, you can be involved in something important when you get here. It's a nice hook.
Yeah.
Also, that's the thing too, where I was thinking of it as physical territories, but it can't just be groups of people. Because you don't. I mean, don't necessarily want everybody on the island as goddamn council, or otherwise nothing's gonna ever get done. So we
No,
need some
no.
leaders.
Exactly. I think it needs to be representatives from either different groups or different territories, right? One or the other, whichever they prefer. If they just want to live in the village or in the playa, that's perfectly fine. If it ain't enough to really, like, for example, like we'd have a representative from Guarda, we'd have a representative from Omens. If there were more folk living in the village that were not part of Guarda, right, they'd have a representative too, that sort of thing, right? Ideally, one representative per group.
Here's
Maybe
my
two
thought
if
right
that's-
now. Here's my lineup right now. You ready? This is provide everyone's around, but people that I know that are here. You got somebody from Moments, whoever the fuck that lunatic picks. You got yourself. You got Co, because Co is here. He told me he was here. He's like, I'm here for a long time. If you need anything done, just tell me. I just don't like idle hands. I'll go pick lemons. I'll do whatever. I told him, think about running the port. I said, I'll make you the goddamn harbor master, because he's like, oh yeah, maybe I'll get some people over here. I need to get some people. He's staying here for a while. So Co would be great, I think. Talk about a good brain, good sense, and nice guy, but also I've heard some fucking horrible things about him. So that's appropriate for this place.
Yes.
By stuff he's done,
yes.
right?
Yeah, things ended
And
rather terribly with him in.
Zhang Wei. Yeah, I heard that. So that's a pretty solid group, right? Of people who live here, just off the top of my head. I know Boone would want to be involved too. You got to figure out he lives in this town, whatever it is. I think at first you make it a little looser, just so people feel involved.
Yeah, and then perhaps
Maybe
as
don't
it
use the word
grows,
looser. Maybe just say a little more loose, because that's the proper thing. And now I feel stupid.
a little more
Like
lenient. I'll say it.
Yes, yeah. Just loose would be fine. Looser. More loose. Ugh. Melted. It's heat. Yeah, I like it though. I like the Island Council, the Guarman Parliament, the Guarliament.
And in turn,
Everything doesn't need a stupid pun, but you get what I mean.
yeah. In turn, we're definitely gonna need some folk who are enforcing these laws, right? I figure if they get broken, depending on the situation, you can either just declare war with each other, or, like we're saying, go to some sort of trial.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we definitely need some folk who are able to enforce this, right, and make sure that whatever rules people decide on, things like, I'm sure, like, visitors can't be robbed at the port, or like things like that, right? We need someone who can actually enforce these things.
Well, I think one of the things too is we did this when what we did when Edgar brought those people here to fight him in the castle. Is he told these people all these rules of engagement, right?
Yeah.
And I told him, look, you could tell them that, and if they believe, what is it? I like to say, power perceived is power achieved. You tell them that, and they believe that's the rules, so they follow them. Great. But I told him what he needed to do was get him to write it. He wrote them all down, and he got everybody to sign it. So you gotta have some type of goddamn constitution or something you could get people to agree to. Now, if somebody pulls out, they pull out.
Absolutely.
That's fine.
Absolutely.
But at least everybody else is on the same page, hopefully. Things fall apart, all that, but I think getting people involved and setting a standard. And if someone wants to come to this island and say, fuck your constitution, I'm living up north, well, then they do that. But at least there's still a unified group down here. I think it's smart.
Yeah, I mean, there's the beauty of it, right? Is that if someone wants to form their own convent, their own, territory, that sort of thing, right? Within that area, they can make their own set of rules.
Yeah, they come here like, I'm a fucking crazy guy, and I want more crazy people. I'm forming a congregation of snakes, and we live up in the goddamn treehouse. Okay. You got people, that's great. Drink venom. Come for your wives. Okay. Not a lot of married people here, but all more power to you.
Speaking of which, we should
Whose wife are you
probably.
coming for?
Well, no, I was gonna say we should
I guess
probably
speaking of
decide
which.
on some sort of damn title for me because that's the thing, right? Is that as much as that people respond to titles, right? It's why Eggers run around and call himself the goddamn king of Guarma. It'd be good if I had some sort of way of communicating to folk that
You
I'm
want a Guarman nickname,
leading.
let's say.
Exactly.
Okay, hold on. All right, let's suit you. Let's suit you. Okay, well, what you been up to lately? What are you being known for in the crossing as of late? Just robbery still?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, events,
See, the problem is,
robberies. Here I guess it's being a lot more fighting, but
so you already had a really, really good name with the Jade King, right?
sure.
But so I'm afraid if we go with something like, because I think the Duke of, you call yourself the Duke of Guarma, it's pretty good. But I don't want it to feel like it's a demotion for you.
No,
But the
I
Duke,
kind of like it because it's separate, right? That's the idea. Is that I feel like I'm the Jade King in the cross, and the Jade King's not needed here. There's no fucking banks or trains or anything like that to rob.
it's
I don't give a
just,
shit, you know.
and it's purely Edgar going around saying he's king of the castle. He was telling people he's king of Guarma, first of all, but that's fine. But so I'm the Duke of Guarma, or the Duke. I love the Duke. Duke
I do
Julius.
like that.
Duke Bradshaw is a pretty goddamn thing. Just the
Bradshaw.
Duke. They call me the Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Did I ever tell you about Mikey Dookie?
About what?
This guy I knew when I was growing up. His name, it was just a nickname. It was like Duke, Dukey. Mikey Dookie would call him. His name was Mike.
Oh,
But he was perhaps the most terrifying person who would ever, in the weirdest way. He probably built like I am, right? Maybe probably a little bit taller. He was like 5'7", 5'8". You wouldn't think much of him. He had a beard. He had glasses. Just somebody's dad, sort of. This motherfucker had the most incredible strength. You would never believe. He would, like, if when you interlace your fingers with somebody,
yeah.
he would do this, and then he would squeeze his fingers together, and he could break your goddamn fingers with his just by squeezing this together. It was crazy. Let me tell you something. This guy one time caught someone stealing his cart. Like, the guy got in the cart and was about to go. He ripped him off the cart. He bit a chunk of the guy's ear off, and then he let him go because he said, well, he learned his lesson. Isn't that fucked up?
Christ
You want to hear the
almighty.
craziest thing? This motherfucker. Well, first of all, he had like a corn in his foot.
Uh-huh.
One of those that were planter's wart or something. He
Yeah.
cut it out with a fucking knife, just a blade. He just turned his foot over and cut it deep, this big fucking hole in his foot, and yanked out his wart.
Good God.
Well, let me tell you the craziest thing. God forbid we ever run into, as much as I love him, Mikey Dookie.
Uh-huh.
This guy, he worked as a cartwright, right? So he was making carts and things like that. And some guy thought it would be hilarious to fuck with this terrifying being. And he had some type of a clamp. And he just walked up behind him and he just clamped his ass, of all things. So this is he goes, he blacked out. He said he all of a sudden, he remembers pain, and then he remembers opening his eyes, and the guy who clamped him was on the ground in front of him. He had one hand on the guy's throat, and the other hand had fingers in his nose, and there was a thin line of blood forming at the base of his nose where he was ripping his nose off his face. He was literally peeling his nose off before he stopped himself.
Christ.
You know what he would do? This is the last thing I'll tell you.
Okay.
He would take grown men, right? Grown men who were causing problems. And he would literally grab them. Just grab them. A grown man bigger than him. You couldn't do anything because he was so strong. He'd grab your hand and squeeze it. He just you would be doubled over in pain. He just put his arms around you, and he would only let you go if you repeated after him. And he would make grown men say this. He'd go, repeat it. Mikey Dookie, I love you, baby. like a hog loves slop, and then he would let them go. Nobody would do anything. He's amazing. Nobody shot his ass, but I thought they were afraid bullets would bounce off of him. Anyway, if I could get Mikey Dookie to come to Guarma, we'd have no problems ever. Except,
Yeah.
Mikey Dookie might start taking over. But he was nice. He was nice.
My God.
Anyway, I got distracted. The Duke.
Yes. I do like Duke a lot. It's got a
Good.
nice ring to it. Duke of Guarma.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Hold on a second. Let me check my handy map. I'm wondering if there's a place here like the Duke of Aguas Dulces, or you don't want to attach yourself too much to one place unless you really love it. Could be the Duke de la Paz. That's the bay here. It means the Bay of Peace. Of all things for this place to be called.
Yeah, that's a bit of
Duke of Crabs.
Duke of Crabs.
Well, what is it? What is it in Spanish? It's like probably El Duque.
I actually have no idea.
Dulce in Italian, right? Il Duce in Italian. That's really good. That's the other thing too. We could give you a nice Spanish nickname. Like when I was in Panama, they called me El Pingüino Bastardo, bastard penguin, or La Tortuga Landrando, the angry turtle.
I love that. Maybe we just start with a title for now. Duke,
El Duque.
and then go from there.
The Duke. Just call yourself the Duke of Guarma. That's it.
It'll
It'll spread around. People go, "What the fuck? We had the king, now we got the Duke."
I mean, it is one of those things too, right? Where we talked about this before. Until folk spend more time over here, they think of Guam as one large entity, anyways. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Man, I fucking El Dupe to everybody with my fucking title. Let me tell you this: when they pulled us into the militia, I went around telling everybody else, "You should be the minister of this, and you should be the minister of that." And they said, "That's great, baby. That's great. What are you going to be?" I was like, "I'm the ambassador. It's fine." Then I announced everybody's title, and then I announced myself as the ambassador commander. And then all the newspapers said, "Hoy be the ambassador commander," and a bunch of ministers. And everyone thought I ran crazy. The first month, everybody thought I was in charge.
Yeah.
So I think the Duke, you say Duke of Guarma, we could write up an official document. We recognize Julius for his contributions and grant him the title of the Duke of Guarma.
Well, I have one more idea. I tell you, this sounds a little
Sweet.
too
Wait.
self-serving.
So,
Please go ahead.
Dulce means sweet. It could be the sweet Duke. It's something like that's good.
Duke or
El Duque del Dulce, the sweet Duke. All right, but the Duke is good. I'm overthinking. Please go ahead.
Well, what if, as part, and just be a small part of it, but at that dinner I was talking about at this festival, we do a little coronation thing, right? Announce to the people there too, so that they are also aware.
I like it.
All right. Well, shit, I'm looking forward to this. We gotta get this planned. We gotta figure out our dates and figure out the name. Those are the three big things.
Yeah, I think so. Whew.
Well, what else you got going on today?
Oh, not much. I was hoping to see Natalie, but maybe she'll be around later. Somebody.
Yeah.
Gonna find a snow lady. What about you? Staying here today? Where's your friends? Did they leave?
I believe Scrump left. I'm not sure if Roxanne's still here
see,
or not.
I told you.
Oh.
I wasn't dreaming.
Howdy there.
Hello.
I'm Julius. Nice to meet you.
A pleasure to meet you. I am known as Wildcat.
Wildcat, nice to meet you.
How the fuck did I forget that? With your damn a cat on your head. I just was talking about you, and I'm like, what was his name? Something cat.
Were you riding a donkey around earlier?
I was, yeah. Are
Yes,
you up
I
north?
saw you. I saw you crossing the fields here.
Oh.
Yeah. Welcome, Wildcat. I hope Cormer's been treating you well.
It has been a pleasant stay so far.
Good. It's good to hear.
I was just telling Julius that you guys, you and Snow would come over here to stay here for the foreseeable future. And, well, maybe Wildcat here would have some thoughts about events and things like that, more involved in jungle and stuff like that, because he's been here before. He was here months ago. Planning a big kind of weekend event to get people over here.
I see.
Well, shit.
So,
I was gonna say I might head up to Omen and see if anybody's up there too. I ain't been up there
Alright.
in a minute.
right, I might just duck into my house and stuff my face for about 20 minutes, since everybody hates when they watch me eat. All right,
Alright.
I'd think about the name still, but the Duke is number one to me. Numero uno.
Yeah, I'm thinking that as well. All right.
All right, well, now I see you up there probably. Now I'm
Yeah, have a good dinner. Wildcat,
Do you live on this island as well then?
Yeah, I do actually. I still visit the crossing a fair bit, but this is my home these days. It's lovely, really.
That is good to hear. I enjoy this place a lot more than the crossing. There are fewer people.
Yeah. And I mean, right now, honestly, a little too few. We're trying to work on that, but I do like that it's very different. Even the more remote parts of the crossing, right? They don't feel the same as Guam, that's for sure. There's a bit more freedom here, a bit more peace.
A lot more of the land has been left unspoiled.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'm gonna head up the mountain to Omens. You like to accompany me? You got something else you up to?
I was actually on my way to rest for a short while.
Oh, okay. Well then, shit. Hopefully, I'll see you later.
Yes, I am sure I will be around.
All right. Well, it was great meeting you, Wildcat, and I'm so happy you decided to join us out here.
It was good to meet you.
All right. Well, you have a good night then. Okay, sorry, let me catch up with chat. There's so much going on. So, that was really interesting conversation with Herbie. So, it was exactly what Julius predicted. Well, we think so anyways. We still don't know for sure Drummer's involvement, but actually, let me make these damn torches before I forget. We're pretty sure Drummer was involved. Pretty sure. Not 100%, but if Delilah already admitted her involvement, Drummer was probably involved in it. But Delilah did not mention the other day that she did this. Julius was like, "How was your weekend?" Like being a little investigative shit. Hopefully, get to talk to some out more. So Mishka's awake, but she's back in the crossing. Really interesting. Why is she back in the I mean, if Delilah was involved, that like, in my mind is as good of a confession that drummer actually was involved. And Julius doesn't. He's not upset that drummer lied to him. He wants to understand why. Why was drummer not willing to admit that he was a part of all this? Yep, exactly. It's the only thing that makes any sense. These.
¿Qué tal?
Okay. What else did we? Let me scroll back up in chat and see what. We were talking about the titles. I do like Duke. I think Duke is like. It's straightforward. I think it should be English. I would like a different like nickname for him at some point, but. Hate to dip out. Been so long since I've been able to RP with you. Oh, dude. No worries at all, man. I'm so glad you're coming to Gorma. I'm so glad to have more people in Gorma. That's really what I hope comes from this weekend, is that like we get some more actual like Gorma citizens again, because that's like it's genuinely Julius's goal, and I think I don't want to like I don't want to talk about it too much. I think it'll become apparent pretty soon at some point in time. Well, I guess it actually isn't really. Basically, what we're trying to do from Julius's perspective is Van Horn, but better, right? Van Horn, but it's not just for criminals. Van Horn, but it's not just for Gavin Summers' ego, but it is a place where people who don't want to be looking over their back, regardless of whether they're criminals or not, and they are free and safe from rule of law, right? So yes, it is kind of a criminal haven, but the only people that will like truly be a haven for are those who contribute to Gorma, right? Julia's perspective is you can do whatever the fuck crimes you want to do in Gorma, I mean in the Crossing. Come to Gorma, contribute here, be a member of Gorma society, and that's fine, you know? As to be netting ceremony with machetes, the whole spectacle. Yes, Lily. I think we will. I think we'll do like a ceremony. We did write down in our notebook for ideas doing some sort of like animal sacrifice after the dance party to close the night out. Get everybody fucked up on some drugs, and then, you know, sacrifice an animal. I think that sounds like fun. Libertalia RP? Yes, exactly. That is what Julius wants from Gorma, and whether it can last or not, right? Who the fuck knows? But like somewhere where he and his friends can go anytime to hide out when the law's looking for them. Other criminals can come out here. Civilians, good folk too, right? So that's why we're pushing this whole idea of having a legal system of sorts. It'll be very different. I also wrote down that scars part because I love that little bee. That has to be part of the Mr. Gorma competition is a scar competition. That's so Gorma. That's so fucking Gorma. I love it. But I do think all of this will save for a separate event. Ideally, I think if we can do events like every 2 to 3 weeks, that would be a pretty good pace, even if not all of them are like these big festival events, right? This one of them can be smaller events. And I think the fashion event is a good, like, completely separate thing. Official Duke sacrifices the ceremonial hog. Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. I also like the diving competition. I think that would be fun. Yeah, you want something to make people want to come to Gorma. Exactly, exactly. And I think this idea that you can have your own territory, you can make your own rules, it's going to appeal to some people, right? And having like a way where that's codified, where like, oh yeah, you get to be involved. You get to sit on a council and make rules and govern this place, right? I think people will really be into that. And I think the only requirement will be that you just have to follow whatever the overarching rules are for everybody. And we need a defensive force to enforce and protect Gorma. And I think that is where people like Morgan come in. The way I envision it as me, Morgan, maybe JJ, but she's kind of more omens. And honestly, really, it could just be like Morgan and I, and then we can pull people from the other groups if something comes to violence to get our 4, right? It could be me, Morgan, Club Royale is backup, Omens is backup. But like Morgan is one of the ones I see as being neutral enough where he could actually join like my Gorma group, basically. Bailey has the scars to win it? Yeah. That's kind of where my head's at right now. I think, yeah, we could grab the 2 of us, and then we would have people to essentially act as backups if something happens where like one of the basic rules of Gorma is broken, right? We need a fighting force that's ready to intervene violently if needed, right? And I think that's kind of what Julius has been building up to with his whole like training with Bailey arc, is that he wants to be like not just a leader in Gorma, but a physical protector of Gorma.
Thank you.
See, of course.
Howdy.
My name is Bailey.
Bailey. It's nice to meet you.
Sí, mucho gusto. I believe that the gentleman over towards my right can probably introduce himself. He seems capable.
Thank you, Bailey. I'm Julius Bradshaw. Lovely to meet you too.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I
What
came in a
brings it
little
to
late.
Guatemala?
Sorry. What are y'all's names?
Danya.
And my name's Isaac Quill.
Donnie and Isaac Quill. Okay, I think I've met a couple other Quills.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. Was it Abigail and Zip?
Yeah, Zip's my cousin, Abigail's my aunt.
Ah, I see. Well, welcome to Gorma.
See, I have also met your cousin. He's very interesting. Never
Yeah, I was
seen a
about to
banana
say
before
interesting.
and just bit into it sideways with the
Wait,
skin
what?
on.
Wait, banana?
You see, there are bananas on the side. There are some actually right behind this bar.
Oh, I'm gonna have to try that.
You see, there is plenty on the island if you know where to look for them. From what I hear, you cannot get them in the crossing.
No, you cannot. We just thought we would have a trip out here. You know, we've been working very hard on the crossing for a while and think we need a break.
Ah, I see. What have you been doing?
Withdrawals.
I see. I think that Julius is perhaps familiar with this.
Hey, I've made some withdrawals in my lifetime. What can I say?
Oh yeah, the last one was quite successful.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, I think we're gonna sit pretty for a little while, so we figured why not take a load off and come to Guama.
Well, this is the perfect goddamn place for that. Tell you that much.
I'm already
It's so
feeling
different
relaxed.
from the crossing. It's just so lively. It's just with the birds and just everything. It's different. I like that it's warm.
Yes, when I was in the crossing last, it was snowing.
No.
Yes. Is it still snowing over there? I don't even know.
In some
No.
places, but like north.
Yeah, if you go into the mountains, there's snow there.
I see. Well, I don't necessarily think that I'll be going to the places where the snow is present. It's not for me.
Yeah.
I find it
I don't like the
uncomfortable.
cold.
It can be pretty cold here at night depending on where we go. Yeah. Definitely not like the crossing. Well, I'm glad to see new faces here.
Yeah, we're glad to be here.
Glad to hear it. Un momento.
You know, that waterfall there is kind of what caught our attention the most. We heard the sounds of rushing waters and thought we would follow it up.
And then
Yeah.
we saw lights and then followed the lights up.
Mm-hmm.
No, it is it's beautiful. Really, it's a blessing being so close to some fresh water out here.
You been on the island long?
Yeah, I've been coming here to visit on and off for a long time now. Ever since that first poker game was my first time out here. The big one with all the guns and Sheriff Cash losing immediately and all that, right? But was it about a month ago now, give or take, something like that? Well, we had a bank job that did not quite go according to plan. I found myself in the San Antonio Sheriff's Office, and then I was broken out. But of course, that means that Sheriff's Department is very, very eager to get their hands on me. So I figured, you know what? I've been thinking about making the move over to Guama for a while, and why don't we make it official?
Oh, well, that's great. I would say you've made a good choice.
I
So,
truly love
how
it out here.
how has things been out here?
Well, not sure how much you heard about the whole Edgar situation, but that was a mess for a while. But the time being, he's gone. His folk are gone. Everything is rather calm, and in fact, I'm working on getting together a celebratory festival. Get more folk out here and visiting and enjoying all that Guama has to offer.
I understand that. We're doing the same thing over in Tumbleweed and out west, over in the crossing.
Oh shit, really?
But Yeah. But, we know that Edgar fella. Me and Zip threw him off a cliff once.
Good.
Yeah, sounds about right. He has a propensity for making people want to throw him off cliffs or stab him or chop his damn head off.
Yeah.
He's quite talented.
Well,
At it.
he did shoot me down, so he had it coming.
Yeah, I think that man has had every ill thing that's happened to him coming to him and then some. But shit, alright, so, man, I'd love to hear about this tumbleweed thing you got going on whenever it comes to fruition.
Well, me and my cousin are in the business of guns. We acquire them and we supply certain gun merchants in the crossing. But we also have other things out there. People running their own gun store out there. Got the saloon going. Maybe soon we have someone running at that general store there. Just trying to bring some life out west, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I love visiting New Austin. I've had a number of friends out there over the years, and it's always nice when it's lively.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and with the mine right there, it's kind of nice to have somewhere that people can go.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere the miners should feel safe when they're passing through. Maybe if they want to ever exchange those gems they don't feel like cutting, then we can offer that to them as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get a place with somewhere people of all types can come and visit. They're a criminal or just a citizen, really.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping Warmer can be for folk long term, right? You know, whether you're just a good old civilian looking to get away from it all, whether you're, active criminal, whatever the case, right? As long as you're here, not disturbing the residents of the island, right? Then by all means, right? Welcome all types.
Yeah. Well, me and Danny thought we would come out here and just take some time off. We've been working hard and wanna just put our feet up for a little while. The last bank we hit, we acquired a particular weapon that is quite popular over in the crossing.
Ooh.
And then
What
we
kind of weapon?
it was a pump action shotgun.
No, I see.
You know what was
So,
Sounds
the,
not common over there.
yeah, no, they are, they're fairly hard to find, especially, ones that ain't belonging to the sheriff's office.
I did not know this.
Well, here's the best part. It was Danny's his first ever bank job. So I think she's kind of like a lucky charm. I'm gonna have to bring her on every bank job now. If the first one she does is a damn weapon crib.
You know what one of the most painful parts of my temporary internment was?
What was that?
In one of those safes, I found a fucking Mauser. And now the sheriff's department has their hands on it. Painful.
First time I robbed a bank in the crossing, I got a Springfield.
God damn.
It's just that beginner's luck, I tell you.
On the bright side, Marty had me in the interrogation room for 2 hours and somehow still neglected to take my fingerprints, so they are still flying in the dark as far as my prints go.
Oh, Marty Malone?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I just wish I could have seen his face when he looked through that file and realized he never took my fingerprints. It's been steaming angry.
Yeah, I've never had even a cordial conversation with that fella. Every time I've bumped into him, it's always been hostility on his part. Well, in fact, he ended up killing someone I actually knew very well.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah.
Thought I hear that.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't very close, but still. What really got me more than anything was that Malone actually hit me over the head a week before that happened. Makes you think that could have been me in the ground right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Malone. That one is probably the most bullheaded deputy I've came across.
I've heard a few things about this person, and that definitely seems to be one of them. He's the kind of person who doesn't necessarily fuck around.
No, he definitely wants to set an example with the criminals out in the crossing.
I've heard that he has quite a temper.
That he does. That he does. Well, one of the other reasons why I came out here, you know, didn't feel like going to Sisika. Yeah, looking for me and a few of us, what we did with the bank jobs and things. So just nice to not be looking over my shoulder for a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of my favorite parts of being out here, right?
100%.
Well, lovely meeting you two, but not to be filling up my canteen. And Bailey, actually, you got a minute. We should probably catch up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll see you two around.
It was nice meeting you.
Yeah,
Yeah, see you around.
Lovely
Nice meeting you.
It was nice to meet you both. Enjoy exploring around the island.
Thank you. Hope you have a good day too.
I just realized we've been going the whole stream without me playing music. What are we doing? Refill my canteen, and then I don't even know, like, where do we? There's so much going on right now. Ah! He's got deals. Thank you for the follow. Welcome. Also, Mateo Jeans, thank you for gifting that tier 1 sub. That's very kind of you. Hello from the theater. Hello, Flicker. I hope you have a wonderful show tonight. I hope it goes fantastic. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I am better now. I may have taken a little tumble earlier off a donkey, but that's okay.
Oh, is the donkey okay?
Oh, the donkey was fine. I'm the one who got flung down a couple levels up. You know, near the doctors and the fight ring, all those ramparts and such.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I tried taking a donkey down a path, and then I realized, okay, never mind, no, this ain't gonna work because there's a ladder. So I tried turning the donkey around, and long story short, I fell. Donkey was fine. I was not fine, but Herbie found me and patched me up.
Did you get hurt?
Got a little bruised up, nothing serious. More my goddamn pride. I swear, I feel much more comfortable on my own two damn feet than on the back of one of them donkeys.
How do you manage when you have a horse between your legs?
The horses, I feel like I can trust the horses more than the donkeys. Maybe that's just me.
That's hurtful to the burros. You should apologize.
No, it's not their fault. They're just very different. Horses
So you don't like things that are different?
I didn't say that. Horses are agile. Donkeys are sturdy. And I think the agility... Well, actually, I've had accents on this too. So really, maybe I shouldn't just talk in general.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting theory.
Also, I have been working on the plans for this festival, and I think it's going to be magnificent.
Oh, do tell.
We just got to figure out a day and a name.
I see.
So it's going to be a 3-day thing is what I'm thinking. Friday is going to really more just be like if anybody wants to come up early and, you know, get in the lay of the land a little bit, get themselves situated, and then come up on Friday, right? But the real event starts Saturday. And, yeah, we'll get scavenger hunt, right? Do the scavenger hunt from the Guarma Guide, do some high stakes poker, gambling. So Boone had the idea of doing like a fashion competition. I think rather we should announce the pageant then at the festival so that folk know they can come back in the future for it, right?
A fashion event?
Yes, people love this shit, right? So make it like a pageant. And I figured the woman twist, as it were, could be a scars competition.
Oh,
Yeah, people show off their scars. And then, you know, we could do like a little hunting contest. We're going to have a big dinner, right? I've got all the liquor and the food and all that planned out. You know, a little dance party to finish off the night. And then day 2 is going to be all the more risky or violent activities, right? So we got stuff like Herbie was saying we should have a diving contest, which I think that's fun, right? Something a little lighter to start the day off. We do that climbing race where folk climb up the ramparts going up to the mountain, and they can punch each other, but they don't actually get any of the weapons beyond that. And then, of course, we round it out with the donkey machete races.
no, I see.
And maybe we want like one more blood spot. I think maybe we could have some regular fist fights, and the whole throwing knife thing we could add as a future competition.
Are you any good in a fist fight?
I mean, I would not consider it one of my strengths. No,
So you will not be participating?
probably not.
That is a shame.
I mean, I suppose I could practice some, but I mean, I'm still debating. I do like the idea of being in this goddamn machete race. You know, perhaps I have suffered enough wounds from machetes already in my lifetime. Still sounds like a hell of a time.
You see, what else do you have there?
I mean, that's the majority of the activities.
Thought you were about to walk off the edge there.
No. Is that why you're trying to get me to read more things off of the list? See if I would do it.
See. I was very interested to see if you'll be paying attention.
Hey, I mean, I can read a book and pay attention at the same time, sort of.
Sort of means probably not.
I mean, I paid enough attention to not climb over the damn edge.
Only just though. Only just.
Yeah, no, I think people are really gonna like this, and of course, we're gonna have booths and vendors and opportunities to sell, you know, Charlie and his fruit and something, maybe some like warmer etched weapons. But really, I mean, the point of all of this is to try to build up some interest in the island in general, you know.
Hmm. No, I mean, that all sounds very good to me.
I also have a cool goddamn proposal for Herbie. The government light system, I guess you could say. Similar to government, but not nothing like the goddamn crossing. I'll tell you that much. Basically, just a the essential idea would be that there would be a high council of some sort of folks from various organizations or factions or territories of Gorma, right? And they all meet up and determine what rules, if any, pertain to the whole island, and then what rules, if any, they have for their own areas or territories and things like that, right? And then we have specific consequences for breaking them, as well as you know, a taking more people to trial if they piss each other off, kind of thing, right?
Hmm.
But yeah,
And
I
who
mean,
do you think that this will consist of?
sorry, repeat that for me.
Said, who do you think that this government that you're proposing will consist of?
I mean, to start with, we'd want, of course, representatives from the militia, representatives from Omens, from Guarda,
Hmm.
and I think that's pretty much all we've got right now. Unless more folks show up. I mean, I guess Wildcat and Snow are here now. If they end up sticking around, I'm sure at least one of them sitting on this council, right? But just make sure that everybody on the island, whether they get along or not, is represented, right?
See, it makes sense to me. Only thing that I worry about is people thinking that just because they are a part of some kind of government, they therefore own parts of this island.
No, no, absolutely. That's something I think we need to. Oh, howdy, I'm going to be in Guam for a couple days. Feel free to let me know if I can help with anything. I need something to pass the time. I'll be wearing goggles, a wool hat, and a black shirt. Oh, no. Go.
Hmm.
But
I
no.
do not think that we'll be needing his help. I think we'll be fine.
No, I think it's like I was talking to her about, right? Is that folk like feeling like they are in charge of something. And we want to make it clear they don't own shit, right? But say you want to form a commune on the north side of the island where you all, what did Herbie say, drink snake venom, whatever the fuck you want, right? Then sure, you can reside there and you can make some rules about what can go on in that particular part of the island. But it's because, again, you are caring for it, not because it belongs to you. I think that is the distinction we need to make very clear to folks. Right now, we're looking for people who want to care for the island, not people who want to own the island.
See, but if I know anything about giving anybody responsibility, is that you give them an inch, most of them take a mile. That is the only thing that I am aware of. I'm more than happy to set people straight in any way that I see fit, but at the same time,
No, I agree, and that's, I think, why we have the council and why we have the specific, overarching laws of Guarma, right? Things that we expect folk to, no matter where they are on the island, to obey. And if they don't, that's why we also need to make sure that it's not just the militia that's being called on to enforce these things, but some sort of fighting force, essentially.
Oh, I see. But from what I hear, it sounds like there is a small gathering of people already becoming kind of like.
Oh, Jesus! Fuck off, Hog. Fucking bastard. Hell did it go? Sweat. Yeah, laugh it up.
I'm not laughing.
Uh-huh. Now, wait, what
I'm not.
you talking about a force already being this?
Do you want to go and maybe get clean under the waterfall? You're covered in dirt now.
Yeah. Still haven't told me. Who are you referring to as far as this force goes? Get back on topic. Don't give me shit about being dirty.
Oh, I know you're dirty. No, I just mean in regards to, Rabbit, Delilah.
I mean, Delilah ain't much of a fighter, let's be frank, and I definitely would not consider her a remotely neutral party. And I mean, Rabbit would definitely be interesting, but
And you.
yeah, but I was gonna say, I think Rabbit's priorities are always ultimately gonna be, and really should be, the crossing.
Hmm.
If anything, it's
I,
quite beneficial for everybody to have someone in the crossing who is invested in, well, at least understands how things operate here.
I suppose there is a benefit to this.
Yeah, the way I'm envisioning it right now is that Delilah is omens, which is its own thing, right? And then I see who else might be interested in being a more neutral slash mobile force, right? Folk like Morgan would probably be a real damn good candidate. Um, Maybe Charlie, but I feel like Charlie's more invested in the business aspects of Omen, so he'd probably be along with them. And maybe JJ I also feel like is a little more directly aligned with Delilah, right? I think ideally a group that is most invested in Guarma above all else and has the capacity to handle things when they need to, and then if let's say it starts with just Morgan and I, right, then we can call on other folk if need be, if somebody like Edgar, who the fuck else is running amok.
Alright.
Also, to be quite frank, I enjoy Delilah, but it is not particularly good optics for me to be very heavily aligned with her, at least in the eyes of the crossing. Hell, I'm sure in the eyes of some of the folk here.
You think so?
I mean, her proclivities are not exactly a secret. Herbie talked to you about what he discovered about Mishka.
No, I have not had the opportunity to talk with him yet.
Apparently, Delilah is very openly admitting to being the one who cut Mishka up. Again, in Mishka's best interests, which is why she don't believe she did nothing wrong. But that's the kind of thing that folk back home, back at Crossing, don't really understand.
What do you think?
I mean, the way I see it, she hasn't had a chance to talk to Mishka, hear her side of the story, you know? If it's something she consented to, then the whole thing is really irrelevant. Something she ain't consented to, then, you know, it's up to her how she feels about it, right? She's straightforward and agrees that it was in her best interest. Maybe it's nothing. If she's mad as hell, wants to get even with Delilah, right? And that's a completely different story. I don't know. I have no idea how she feels about the whole ordeal.
Well, I didn't ask how she feels. I asked how you feel.
I guess right now, frankly, I'm more curious why Drummer lied to me. Because I can only imagine that if Delilah is so openly admitting her involvement, that he was the other party.
So this confirms your theory about the cigarettes?
I believe so. It really don't make any sense for some random stranger in Delilah to be involved in it. So I'm pretty damn sure it was him. I just don't know why. Just a matter of trust. If there's something else, why he wouldn't tell me.
Hmm. He is probably more loyal to Delilah than he is to you.
Oh, I would assume so. But then that means that he either questions my loyalty, or at least questions my reaction upon finding out who the culprits were, which is interesting in and of itself.
Mm-hmm. And what does this make you think?
Right now, more just curious to hear Mishka's side of things, and maybe at some point, if Drum will tell me why he didn't want to tell me what really happened out there.
And what if he never does?
Well, I guess it's a mystery I won't get to the bottom of. I just have to draw my own conclusions. I hope he does come
Sounds
around,
like
though.
it's something that bothers you.
Well, admittedly, I do hope he comes around, but, you know, time will tell.
Well, you like to be in the know. You don't like not knowing things.
Does this surprise you?
No, not at all. I've come to know this about you.
I think the more information you have, the better prepared you are to understand what might happen next.
I suppose. Perhaps this is why you get so close to so many people.
It's definitely useful having folk who are willing to share things with me.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes both ways. You know, somebody proves that they are worth the time and energy. I like sharing things with them too.
Who do you think is worth your time and energy these days?
The few various folk in the crossing that I have come to genuinely like, respect, just a little bit.
You don't trust a lot of people, do you?
I think trusting a lot of people is,
Unwise?
I was gonna say, foolish and naive at best.
So unwise.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it may sound counterintuitive, but kind of like that drummer was so bold to lie right to my face about all that.
Yes, because it's like a game for you.
It also means that he's not fucking stupid, right? Most folk, you point them in a direction, you throw them a bone, they tell you what you want to hear. Now, sometimes they are easily swayed into thinking, oh, this person, they're trustworthy, right? Drummer, clearly not one of those types, and I like that.
I also think that you happen to quite like when somebody doesn't give you the whole picture. It's more interesting for you that way. I imagine that you probably find most people quite boring.
And most people are terribly boring.
I think that's what you are afraid of. I think you're afraid of being boring too.
What makes you think I'm afraid of being boring?
The things that we don't like in other people are often things that we're afraid of ourselves.
Interesting. Truthfully, I don't really mind if people think I'm boring. In fact, I try to be careful. Less here, more back in the crossing. Which version of myself I show to the world, show to certain folk. I don't mind boring people, necessarily. I think some folk that I care about quite dearly qualify as boring. That's okay. I do get intrigued when I find folk that see the forest for the trees, who understand how to play the game, dance the dance. Don't just open their mouth to the first person who shows them a little bit of kindness.
No. You like challenges and puzzles.
And I do. I do.
So why do you have such a manicured version of yourself over in the crossing?
It's useful. Really what a lot of it comes down to.
Useful how?
You know, get me what I want, I guess. Right. I'm the good guy bartender. Always gonna remember their drink. I'm the fun-loving rebel who just wants to make a big old spectacle while I rob a bank. The good friend and confidant. And it all depends on the person. Depends on what I'm trying to achieve, you know?
What do you think that you are then?
What do I think is important?
See, I suppose. Or just... Who do you think that you are as a person? You know how others see you, but how do you see you?
You know, for a period there, I felt like somewhere along the way I'd kind of lost myself. So many different versions, many different angles, getting swept up in all of extra summers. It's part of the reason why I took that break. Started up business at the Blue Pearl. I just felt like I needed a reset.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the past several months, really, as soon as I started letting that sod slip and embracing myself once again, I think I am a spectrum of things, a goddamn kaleidoscope, right? In fact, most of what I say or do is true, right? I don't really enjoy lying to folk. Matter of what is useful and when. I think I have folk that I care very deeply for. Genuinely come to love and care Squirma herself. Think I'm ambitious, sure. And I do what needs to be done to get what I want, protect things I care about.
I see. So you're not always honest.
All that is much. Rabbit. Chosen. Leave things out. Present things a certain way. Sure.
Have you ever lied to me?
You know, it's funny. More time spend out here on Guam, more I feel like this is the place I would fated be. What I have here already, right now, it's precious. It's beautiful. It's unique. A lot of you, hell, even her be. Right, you operate way that works, makes sense for me, right? I make friends with just about anybody. Flipping out of the crossing, I understand the way they work, the way they think, how to communicate with them. I don't expect you to necessarily believe me. In fact, you're probably wise if you didn't, but I have been honest to you, Herbie, Delilah, and anybody who I feel like proper fit here. Somebody who I believe representative of what I like so much about Guam. In fact, one of the things I like so much about some of them, about you, is that I don't have that same need to always be wearing the mask. Yeah. Let that guard down just a little bit. Ideally not enough to make room for a knife. Flip through the cracks, stab me in the back, but space nonetheless.
So the answer is no.
not lied to you or made any attempt to mislead you. I don't want to. Generally speaking, I like to meet folk on their level. Which is why I found it so terribly amusing when Edgar was so horrified that I had betrayed him, that I had not been forthright with him, because Lord fucking knows that man betrays everyone and is forthright with no one. Why on earth would he expect to be treated any differently? Maybe I'm the one whose judgment is poor in this case, but I got no reason to think that you are lying to me or misleading me, and give you the same courtesy.
She. I have not lied to you. But I am not the type to lie. But I think you and I both at least have a mutual respect here, if nothing else. And I think we are both figuring out one another still. I still not inherently trust you yet. And like you said, it'd probably be wise that you do not trust me either. At least not fully, not yet. I don't think either of us have been tested in this way yet. I will admit though, you do have me curious.
What are you curious about?
A lot of things, Mr. Bradshaw. But I'm sure these things will be revealed with time. Just as I am sure that you're curious about me as well. Perhaps it is wise for the both of us to be holding one another at arm's length. And perhaps it is wise that we never get any closer than that, but we cannot know that, can we?
think both of us have more than enough reason or distance. Smart about this. Hope we do get to know each other better, genuinely.
A part of me wishes to say no, we do not need to get to know each other anymore. But I suppose, seeing as you have let your guard down, at least somewhat with me, I will be honest and say I wish this too. I'll be honest with you in this moment. There are only two people on this earth who have ever gotten to know me very well. It is not something that I like. And it is not something that I often give. Aren't you afraid of somebody getting to know you that well?
I think sometimes the thing we fear, the thing we crave are one and the same.
think that is a very wise thing to say.
Howdy.
Hola.
Howdy.
¿Cómo estás? How are you doing?
Little bit mixed.
Ooh.
I did
How so?
just lose $2,500 in the crossing. A little bit upsetting.
Good lord. Doing what?
Well, so I started blackjack with 50, right? And then I 45x'd my money, and then I didn't stop, and I lost it all.
Oh no.
I think I have a problem with just not stopping.
I think that is the hardest part of gambling. You don't get yourself to
Yeah.
quit while you're ahead, you will inevitably lose.
In and out of spite, I put another 1,500 in and lost that too, but we don't talk about that part.
No.
It's been a rough night, okay? It's been a rough night. At that point, I was done with the crossing, so here I am.
Welcome back.
How has it been? How's the island done?
Got a couple new folk.
Oh, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, there is a fella named Wildcat, woman named Snow. A Wildcat is a native fella from the crossing, and Snow is from Tall Trees, I believe. Herbie was filling me in earlier. And Zip Quill and his lovely lady friend, whose name not Zip. God damn it, I'm not getting them confused. Isaac Quill.
Okay,
Isaac Quill.
okay. For a second, you had me really fucking worried. For a
It's
second.
Isaac. And I'm sorry. What was his lady friend's name?
I think it was Nadia.
Nadia and Isaac are here. And they are just visiting.
Okay, God forbid fucking Zip Quill comes here.
He has already been here once.
Well, hopefully he never returns.
After watching him eat a banana, I also blew. It was unsettling.
I haven't met this Isaac Quill fella, so maybe he's better. Maybe it's just as bad, who knows.
From what I could tell, he was very calm and soft-spoken. Didn't seem to be much like the rest of his family that I met.
Quill family is very strange. They've got one nice one that's in the law. They have one nice one that was nice until the rest of the family came to the crossing. And then you have a mother trying to hold them all together, but has been shot like 3 times by her own son. So it's slightly dysfunctional.
What family isn't dysfunctional?
That is true, although I haven't shot any of my family members before. On multiple occasions, repeatedly, and then been forgiven, and then done it again.
I cannot speak on this matter. I have shot family members.
That's fair. Something about the quills, I don't know. Anyone else around tonight, or is the island fairly quiet? Great.
Can you please do the donkey impression again?
Yeah, please, one more time. I much prefer your attempt at it than the actual donkey.
Yeah,
I don't know, you do sound like an ass.
Hey-haw. Okay. Sorry, I was coughing and I muted. I unmuted.
It's impressive. It's impressive.
Maybe we should add that to the list. Donkey impression competition.
Donkey impression competition. You know, actually, people would probably get a kick out of that. That down.
You're welcome.
I'm planning a festival, by the way, Morgan.
Oh shit!
Uh-huh. We get
You
some
got a
folk
name for
out
the
here.
festival?
That's what we still gotta decide. I was thinking like something spring related. Addie's idea was like blood and breakfast, which I think is very confusing. I mean, it's a cool name, but it just I don't know, you know.
Cool, but a little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
bit
it's a little
confusing.
esoteric there.
Mhm.
Also, I don't want the focus to be on the blood sport, right? I want it to be more of just a general. See, if anything, what I want it to become is that it's understood that blood sport is a part of woman culture. So you don't even gotta specify it. People just know, you know. They go out there. There's gonna be some fun. There's gonna be some nice times, and there's probably gonna be a little bit of blood.
Sounds like a good time to
So,
me.
yeah, it sounds like a good
Uno
combination.
momento.
Punch, brunch.
So you want it related to spring? After considering it, it's spring, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
I mean, I don't think it has to be. That was just I was thinking, you know,
Okay.
spring, nature, you know.
Mhm.
Right, there's something we could tie into that. Or we could just make it more, I mean, the first one was called, what, Gourmania, right? We could make some sort of a Guarma-related name.
Anything that isn't Guarmania, though, because Guarmania is a terrible fucking
No, we're not doing that again. Plus, it's a completely different festival this time. Completely different.
The return of Guarmania. Guarmania 2. Hate it. Fuck. Now I'm gonna be thinking of a name all day.
So,
You could do something extremely basic. You could just
Yeah.
say, like, I don't know, the Guam and Spring Festival or some shit like that.
that's true. That's true. Sometimes simple is best. Folk remember it, right? They know what it means. There ain't no confusion about what's going on.
That is true. You know what, like, what's planned for it? Any activities so far, or is it
Oh.
very early stages?
There are a whole bunch. So,
Fuck yeah.
let me. So, I'm thinking, really, milk it for all it's worth. Make it a 3-day thing. I think most folk will only be there for 2, but Friday night we could have some sort of like, you know, if you get there early, right, we'll have a little bit going on then. The primary things we'll be doing is, of course, having booths and vendors and that sort of thing when people first get here, right? They can buy things, folk around the island can sell things, that sort of thing, right? For our Saturday events, definitely going to want to do a run through of the scavenger hunt that is listed in Miss Aurelia's book. Do some high stakes poker, right? Maybe
Nice.
do the horses again, right? Something like that. Have everybody bring a horse deed.
Is this going to be a thing that's like each day's kind of scheduled and like posted? So like, you know, 8 o'clock this, 9 o'clock this.
Exactly.
Thing. Okay, this like a proper festival.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm thinking, right? We give folk an itinerary, and then they can kind of come and go as they please, right? You know, if they want to spend some time off, you know, canoodling with their loved one, right? They can do that. They don't got to do every single event kind of thing. And then people know what to expect. I even think something along the lines of, right, when folk want to sign up, because one of the things I was thinking too is that do a little ticket raffle, right? That'll get some folk there that may not have otherwise gone because they don't want to spend the damn money. So we put the ad in the paper, we do a ticket raffle, and then use like telegram this number, probably not mine because the law will probably be assholes about that since I'm heavily wanted. But telegram this number for, you know, to enter the ticket raffle and to receive an itinerary, right? Something like that. And then we can send them over telegram. Here's like the schedule of events. So that way they know, oh, I can't make it until 7 p.m., but I know these things are going on and where to be and all that sort of thing. But,
Works, makes sense.
yeah, so we do some high stakes poker. Also raise, maybe do a little hunting contest, right? Like bring back a bunch of boar pelts, that sort of thing. Going to Boom want to do it at this one, but I think it actually makes sense to do it as a future event where we simply announce that there's going to be a Mr. Guarma pageant where people, right, they bring their outfits, they perform, right, show off some talents, that sort of thing, right, something silly like that. People love that sort of thing. And of course, had the idea too of doing a scar competition, because what else is so quintessentially Guoma is let's compare scars and have that as part of our pageant, right?
That's good. That's good.
And then we have a lovely dinner. Gonna get some alcohol brewed up by the Pavi. They make this very special stuff they've been telling me about, and so we're gonna get some of that. Get some lovely beef for the event. Have a sort of dance party celebration to close the night out, and then day 2 is when the more violent and riskier events will happen, right? So Herbie talked about doing a diving competition. I think that's a nice,
That's good.
start
That's good.
the day
yeah.
off, right? We also talked about, the mountains behind the banana trees and how there's like those wooden ramparts all the way up. Well, we have a climbing race to get to the top where people are allowed to punch each other, shove each other, that sort of thing, right? But no weapons. So, somebody gets shoved off a ledge or something, right? Who knows? Exciting. Then maybe a little fist fight tournament, right? Get everybody over to the arena, get some fights going, and then finish it off with the donkey machete races.
I assume John Knight can swing machetes at people is thing to infer from that.
Exactly.
I see. So it's pretty much the death races, but on donkeys and in Guama.
Yep, the death race, but on donkeys in Guama, and everyone has a beautiful machete to wield.
That's not bad. How many donkeys are there like around? It's like 3 or 4, right?
Yes, and I believe we can get more. Just might take a little bit of wrangling, but we'll have some folk on it.
I see. Yeah, I was originally like ages ago thinking about doing a death race in Guama, but there isn't 12 donkeys, so I thought, you know what, maybe not.
Yeah, and I don't know all the details, but like I know that oh goodness, what was his name? That one fella used to run donkey races back in the cross, and he get like 15 donkeys, right? So it just might take some time, but we'll again it's also
a bit of setup.
Exactly, it's gonna be the big finale essentially.
That sounds pretty good to me. Lots of people come. How are you gonna advertise it? Are you gonna go to groups, or are you just gonna put like flyers up in the crossing?
We'll put a little something up in the paper, and then probably go to groups individually about especially the things like the race and the more violent activities, right? So, make sure we get the interest out there. We might put up a couple flyers, but I don't even know if that's necessary, honestly.
Yeah, if you're gonna put something in the paper, it's probably fine.
Yeah. We might even see just at like a couple watering holes or something like that. I just don't want it plastered all over the damn place. It always drives me crazy.
Well, shit, I got persuaded down Lobos to come over then.
Cool.
I
I
see them
would
doing that.
love to have Santiago over here. My God, and Sissy, oh, that'd be fantastic.
Santiago has come over before. I had a lovely conversation with him last time he was here.
He's a good wow. Yeah, he's a good fella.
He's
you
a
say
good fella
Sissy?
in our line of work. I would
Yeah,
not
he's a
say.
he's a good fella to us. To other people, maybe not so much.
Oh, you say Sissy?
Yeah. There's a Sissy, there's Helen, there's a... Every Del Lobo I've met has been...
I see. Well, I only had the fortune of meeting Santiago. But from what I could tell, he was a good sort.
Need to persuade fucking Rio to come over. Don't see much chance of that happening now, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I'm going to step away for a bit. But if you need me, I'll be up at my home.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, sounds good.
Night.
I'm excited for it. The big thing, of course, will be figuring all the logistics and getting everything paid for, especially
Of course.
prizes. But no, it's gonna be great.
You got to do some good prizes considering it's Guama. What would be a good Guaman prize? I've got nothing. A crate of bananas? I don't know.
I mean, we can do things right, like we can have prizes be like a special customized weapon, could be gems. I figured maybe for like some second place prizes, maybe just some tickets back, right? Something like that. Definitely gonna think on it and see what I can get my hands on.
I was gonna say you should do like a lemon eating competition or something. Do you imagine just like 10 people for the cross are just munching fucking melons?
Oh, I like that though.
That'd be
that's
so ridiculous, but that'd be great.
Funny. Shit, I'm writing that down too.
I was gonna say banana eating competition, but that's nowhere as interesting.
No, lemon eating competition would be hilarious.
Okay, maybe not for this event, but hear me out.
Okay, okay.
Imagine, see, you know the like premise or like basis of capture the flag.
Sure.
Imagine that, but Guama. And it's like a competition, and whoever gets the most flags in like an hour or 30 minutes or something, they win a prize. The team wins. And it could be like on one side of the island and on like another side of the island, and they're allowed to like tackle, tie each other up. If we want to make it, more violent, you could make it more violent. If they're allowed to actually fuck each other up.
Yeah. I mean, I think the first iteration, right, always a little less violent, and then maybe if that goes well, you can introduce a more violent version. But I like that.
I'm not sure what you use as the flag, but I'm sure you can figure. Maybe you just take a person that's wearing like full like yellow and someone else wearing like full pink. I don't know, something like that could work. Or it could be a crate, maybe. I'm not sure, something like that.
Yeah. Crate wouldn't be a bad idea.
Just be a bit hard to figure out which. Oh. Okay, maybe this takes a lot of pre-work. Though I was gonna say maybe each team wears like a different color.
Yeah. Ain't bad.
You could have a blue, you could have a red, and then it doesn't matter if both flags look the same because if the blue's carrying a box, that means they have the other's flag, so it works.
You know what? I wonder if you could bring over pelts from the crossing. Like, think about it, like you get two like real big bear pelts.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you would need someone to, whoever like the officiators are, right? They need to like stand there with it, but that would be interesting because then you could see someone's clearly carrying a pelt, right? I don't
But
know.
I'm pretty sure you can 100% bring pelts over. If you let's say you got a grizzly bear and a black bear, so they have two different, they look different, two different flags.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
You could also do it instead of like capture the flag, like I don't know, like a capture the target or something. Maybe you got two groups. They both have like an important person, like I don't know what you call them, like a VIP or some shit. And then the other group has to like kidnap the other one from the other one or some shit like that. Maybe it goes in rounds.
Definitely make a note of all this. I like that.
I've always had this idea of like it's kind of similar, but like big game for a lot of money. Where this might sound a little bit ridiculous. Bear with me.
Okay.
Imagine like you've got like a section of land at the north of the island or somewhere in the crossing, and you put crates around with like various different things. Maybe they've got like a bow. Maybe one's got like a throwing knife. Maybe one's got like a, I don't know, a fucking a tomahawk hatchet, something like that. And you pit loads of people randomly around the outside. And you say, last one standing up wins 10 grand. Go. And then boom. See what happens. Last person that stands wins. Loads of people get fucked up. It would probably last like a good while as well, considering like if you use like a big portion, like the entire north of the island. So you can't come past this point.
Mm-hmm. No, I like it. You would want to start the boxes somewhere like, you know, maybe on the beach, right? So folk could either choose, I'm going to run straight for one of them boxes, or I'm going to be smart. I'm going to, you know, run into the woods, make sure that I don't get fucked up.
Oh yeah, you can put them like in a you can put them in like a circle, looking at each other with stuff in the middle. That works. That works. Like the fire right now is the the stuff. You could get really creative. You could just put some really strange stuff in each box. You could have a cannon with a single bullet for someone, a throwing knife, a fucking bow and arrow. Bow and arrow with maybe like 2 arrows or some shit. And the one rule of the game is no tackling. That's the one rule.
No, I like that a lot.
God, I hate how many ideas I have for death games. I hate this.
Why do you hate it? That's brilliant.
Death races, fucking whatever I'd call this. Jesus Christ.
People love blood sport, and that's the thing, right? Is that everybody acts all high and mighty about the gym thing because he's their friend, right? If Clive had died that day, you know how people would still be talking about, oh, the death match, that was so much fun, right? Clive got cut down, all hail Jim the hero, right? That's the only reason they talk about it the way they do. I think at people's core, I mean, not all of them, right? But a lot of them, they enjoy violence, you know? And that's nothing to be ashamed of. It's in our nature, right? We're violent creatures.
It is true. It is true. Although I definitely didn't used to be this fucking violent.
Yeah, sometimes when you get in the right environment, it is more liable to come out, sure.
It's fine, I'll just blame Summers.
Shit, Morgan, what are your plans? Like, I mean, are you living in Guam now? Are you still doing Redwater? Kind of, where's all that staying? I mean, I know you just had that job or whatnot with Tommy.
So the plan is, well, I live in Guam. I still have Redwater to run, and I will go over there, you know, when they need me, and we'll get contracts done. If they don't need me, I'll assign people to it. And, you know, I still have a group of folk to run death races over there, like I have been. And then I obviously have Guam, where I can relax, and as I said, I want to help out the island, build some stuff, get some things going. Whether that's potentially with Delilah, you, Rabbit, I'm not sure. I'm not so sure just yet. I know Rabbit in the future has some ideas, and I think me and them are very much on the exact same page when it comes to what we're gonna do. I'm not sure if they've mentioned it to you or not yet.
No, we haven't had a chance to talk yet, though they did insinuate there were some things that we may see eye to eye on. Okay.
Well, to put it simply without saying too much for Rabbit, some sort of, I guess, peacekeeping force in the island. Deal with people that come to the island from the crossing and, you know, like attack or hurt people that shouldn't be getting attacked or hurt.
Sure.
If such an event happens, we step in, kind of thing.
Well, no disrespect intended to Rabbit. Much as I appreciate that, I mean, they do have other responsibilities that I think might be a bit more pressing even than ours, and I don't know if we can wait. Really, the way so hey, let me back up, right? I've been talking to Herbie. I've been doing a lot of thinking on my own too, right? And the way I see it, what Guama is missing right now is some sort of structure and consequences, right? It don't gotta be anything like what they got in the crossing. In fact, it shouldn't be. That's what makes Guama so special, right? But there needs to be some sort of governing body and some sort of force that will step in when things are not going the way they should, right? So I was telling Herbie the way I see it, because the militia, right, they are so hands off to the point where Dr. Natalie was essentially saying in that meeting that if folk on the island want to gut a civilian, right, then that's their prerogative, right? And somebody else can step in and fight them, sure, but the militia's not going to do anything, which, again, that's fine. I get it. I get why the militias run the way it is. But folk, especially folk who ain't fighters, who ain't warriors, who ain't here for blood, they hear that, and of course they're going to jump on the next fucking boat back to the crossing. So the way I see it, right, is that we need to form some sort of high council that can act as the governing body, right, with representatives from each group or faction or territory, right? If someone wants to run a specific territory, right? All these folk get together, form a council, and create some basic rules and laws and expectations. Or like, for example, something like maybe you can't harm anybody at the port, or if someone is here for visiting, you know, then they are off limits to rob, right? Whatever kind of basic rule set we want to create. And then beyond that, of course, if folk want to have specific expectations for their territory, where they reside in, right, maybe there's some additional rules there. But, you know, just get some basic things that everybody's on the same page with. Like, for example, I know that Guarda wants to be neutral, right? They wanna just take care of the island, help those who need it, right? I think that's fantastic. And I think then perhaps one of the rules would be something like, you know, Guarda are not to be harmed. But let's say something happens, you know, they make a decision that is perceived to be breaking that neutrality, right? I think that is when we start bringing things to trial, right? I keep hearing Herbie and others talk about trials. They just haven't been happening. I think it'd be great if we had a system where it said, these are the expectations. If you don't follow these expectations, you're going to be brought to trial. And if you don't want to be brought to trial, then we're going to have ourselves a goddamn problem. And I think that is where this group, this force, right, would step in. If folk are being particularly belligerent and ignoring any rules or expectations that have been put in place by the people here.
Yeah, I'd agree. That all makes sense. I think that's along the lines of what me and Rabbit were thinking to some degree as well. Although I do think, as I said, I don't know how long Rabbit's planning to be in the crossing for. I know they plan to get this stuff going in maybe a couple of months, from what they told me. Whether that lines up with everyone else is yet to be seen, but all I know is that there isn't a single better person that would be better at leading such a force than Rabbit.
No, I think Rabbit is a horrific leader. Well, the question would be how Rabbit would feel about, say, people who are not on good terms with those in the department back in the crossing. Because the way I see it, Wilma's independence is vital. And I would perhaps make some sort of rules such as if the department comes knocking, right, they want to do an extradition or whatever have you, right, you know, the other members would not be there to protect them, right, they would not be there to harbor them, but I think it is important, because I think a lot, right, about the old Van Horn days and Summer's big dreams, or so he claimed, to create this haven for outlaws, and I like it, right? That's why I was joined up with him in the first goddamn place. But I think we have an opportunity to do something even bigger here, right? Where both outlaws and normal citizens can stand side by side, as long as their priority and their goals are aligned with Warmer, right?
The thing with that is, there's just it's a very precise line to make it work for both, outlaws as well as civilians. Even if they do all abide by Guarma, if outlaws get out of hand and start doing something stupid, then obviously the people of Guarma need to step in, otherwise the entirety of the civilian population here is going to be scared off. It's happened before.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And the same could happen in a different way, but too many civilians, maybe outlaws see that this place, I don't know. Maybe civilians start going to the crossing and saying this outlaw's here, and then that causes an issue. If they're not in perfect balance, then one of them's in trouble.
No,
It means everyone else and the island has to step in.
I agree. Absolutely. And hell, I mean, from what I've seen, I don't think it even really matters if Sheriff's Department is aware that outlaws are out here in general, unless there's someone in particular they really want to nab. Because, I mean, shit, I've been telegramming Cash personally, right? Like, there is no secret that I've been out here, and they've made no effort to apprehend me, right? So I think it's not even just about having outlaws out here as much as it is about having folk that can agree to the expectations set here, right? What happens in the crossing happens in the crossing. What happens here kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't see law coming over here unless, for that training thing they were talking about, or if some fucking nutter comes over here like Jack Edelman.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, it isn't that difficult to not be Jack Edelman, so people should be fine for the most part. You'd think, at least, you think.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if this is something that we're both invested in, see if other folk are invested in, and I mean, frankly, either way, we can always call on folk. Like, for example, I see Charlie and JJ may prefer to stay more aligned to omens. My folk are not moving out here, but in the event that, let's say, we foresee some sort of problem, right, pull other folk as well if we just need the bodies and need the help kind of thing, right?
Listen, there's a reason I walk around with 2 guns on my back.
Yeah, I mean, it will talk to some folk, think about it. I mean, if nothing else, we can get things started now, and then, if and when Rabbit does return, kind of see where their head's at too.
I do know they plan to come back in a couple of weeks. I'd definitely recommend to you get on a conversation with them. Obviously, you can't have such in a crossing, unfortunately.
I mean, I could. It would just incur more charges on my record.
That's true, that's true. Well, if you get caught, request Rabbit to come visit you. There you go. Works perfectly. I'm thinking I might try and get Shaw to come over here. You know Shaw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know if that's going to really work, but I don't know. If you could put some work around here, that might help.
Yeah.
It's
Interesting.
not a single better gunfighter I can think of.
Yeah, we'll see how it all turns out. Like I said, I like Rabbit quite a bit. I just want to make sure that in practice or even in perception, like nothing comes across some sort of extension of what the sheriff's office does or
Of course,
wants
of
or
course,
anything.
of course.
Right.
As I said, there's only so much I can give my perspective on, and I don't want to speak for them necessarily.
Sure.
So
Sure. Definitely one of the things I've thought about is that keeping Guam independent and protecting what makes this place special is important.
I think they're on the same. I think they'd agree. Just from what I got from them.
They might agree, but I wonder how Thorn and Cash and Bolt and all them would feel.
Well, I think it could either be really good for Guam Crossing relations or really bad for Guam Crossing relations. Not so sure which one it is yet. So it depends on how everything pans out and what they plan to do, as well as what happens in Guam over the next few months.
Sure, sure.
As long as fucking Edgar doesn't reappear and start doing some stupid shit, we should be fine.
Welcome back.
Gracias. What have I missed?
Well,
Just
talking about the festival plans and then about my ideas about, helping give Guam a little bit of structure.
Mm-hmm. I see. Busy then, I suppose.
Busy indeed. Also, Herbie and I talked today about a title for me.
Here we go.
Oh.
What? Here's the thing, right? Is that at the end of the day, people like titles and they respect titles. It's why Edgar ran around calling himself King of fucking Guama, right? Because that sticks in people's mind. It means something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Herbie loaded title of Duke.
Not as pretentious as I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's something memorable, it's something simple, and it's something that I could present to the folk of the crossing so that way they understand that I have at least some level of authority here.
For a while, they called me La Duquesa here.
What does that mean?
The Duchess.
Oh, I love that.
I told you, Mike. Duke isn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It's much better than I was expecting, like Commander or some shit.
No,
I was
Herbie's
expecting
already
something
commander.
ridiculous.
I can't even
Or
compete with
captain or
Herbie. He's
the
already
mayor or
the,
something.
what does he call himself? Ambassador Commander?
Mm-hmm. What about an ensign? You could be an ensign.
I'm sorry, a what?
Ensign.
I don't know what that means.
You don't know what that is?
I don't think so.
It's a flag bearer.
Oh.
That's kind of cool.
It is also perhaps the lowest rank.
You got to start somewhere. The Duke of Guama. Wait, what would you be the Duke of Guama?
Mm-hmm. Because we've been talking about it, right? And debating which area for me to worry about and things like that. And truly, I think right now it makes more sense for me where but the island itself, and then maybe down the line once we get more folk here, I might say, yeah, sure, I'm gonna look out for a particular territory or something like that. But for the time being, at least, right, more big picture goal.
Yeah, I think that works. That's fitting.
How big is this picture?
Right now, a lot about just getting folk out here and building this place up.
That's a new way. Like 3 months into the future, we're gonna be thinking about this moment. And we're gonna go. We succeeded. Now we have Zipquil on the island. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Have you actually have you seen JoJo recently?
I have not, no, actually.
Do you need her?
Yeah, I just asked him to hold on to something, and then I forgot that I asked him, and I realized like a week ago.
What was it?
Just a coin.
A coin?
Mhm.
Is it of personal importance to you?
It is indeed.
How so?
Kind of, well, I guess it relates to me and Guama, and maybe the early relationship me and this island had. And one of the reasons I was actually on the island.
Curious?
There's a nice little etching of a gibbon on it.
Ah, I see. Say no more. It's been a while since I've seen one of those.
Yeah, I got that thing fucking a couple months back now, maybe more.
Hey, dude, my roots are all weird.
Oh, guess who I got the opportunity to fuck up yesterday? Julius.
Oh, yeah, who's that?
Frank Gilbarty.
How did that go?
Well, it's easier than I expected. But then, we took him, and the plan was to well, send a message. So we ran his legs over with a cart like 6 times. And
Alright.
he was proceeding to, during that, saying like, apparently something along the lines of how Gavin Summers made us, and this, that, and the third. And I was getting very tired. Ended up just leaving him there. And from what I've been told, he sent a load of telegrams to people and basically made half the city start laughing because they found it so fucking funny that his legs got broken, which feels kind of rough for the man. I kept getting telegrams of people
Frank.
laughing about it. It's ridiculous.
What can you do?
Mm-hmm. Maybe change his behaviour is the start.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Still haven't got Tommy though. He was around yesterday, but I just did not have the motivation to go get that man. But I'm pretty sure his entire family's like falling apart right now, so makes my life easier.
Yeah, things are rough out here.
expect it to get much worse once Wallaby gets out of Sisika.
The bastard got himself arrested again.
Mm-hmm. Today we're gonna have a meeting. The fucker gets himself arrested like 5 minutes before. But yeah, that Timmy kid isn't doing himself much favors either. You know the newspaper boy?
Yeah.
He's running the bathhouse. Yeah, he is seemingly starting to, or wanting to start some kind of conflict. And I don't think it's going to go well for him, like, at all. Especially when you're being led by fucking Mama Christine.
Yep.
Who pretend that what they're doing is for everybody else's sake, but it's very much not the case.
And they can lie to
Welcome back.
themselves as much as they want, just don't lie to me.
Hey,
Welcome back, how you doing?
I am wonderful.
Glad to hear it.
How about y'all? I heard the tail end of that conversation seems like.
Well, I was kind of talking about how law are much more bearable than outlaws are these days.
You know, unpopular opinion, but I think I've always found that to be the case. I still remember before I was even out there robbing banks, at least in the crossing. I was sitting at poker table. Very first time that Valentine got that poker table in there, right? And there was
Jesus Christ,
some
long time
fella,
ago.
exactly. There was some fella who was just complaining about how mean the law were to him, and I forget the context, but it was something like he shot at them and then jumped on his horse, and then they shot down his horse, and somehow that was terrible, right? And it's, I'm asking this fella, just like, what the hell are you talking about? And we're just having this back and forth, and I just knew. I was like, well, this is the kind of criminals we got in the crossing. Okay, and I have not been significantly more impressed since. That's for damn sure.
But the issue is, I think that's been multiplied since then.
Yeah, that's true. If anything, it's worse.
It did not used to be this fucking terrible, I tell you what. I used to prefer the outlaws because they were all much more interesting and much more sane. These days, I don't even think half of them know the reason they do things.
I think it would be difficult to find most people who understand their own motives.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I need to go and lay my head down. But it was nice to see you both.
Yeah, nice seeing you
Well,
too.
let's get some good rest.
Adios.
Damn.
And-
Yeah, I was speaking more specifically. You know who Cass is?
Cass.
One of the James Kelly folk.
Oh. I barely know
Oh, I
those
see, I
folk.
see.
I know North and a couple of others, but they all kind of blend together.
But yesterday, apparently to like Maddie or someone, or Clifford, they were trying to say how they have to do what they do, and that they don't hurt civilian people, and they don't hurt innocent people, this, that, and the other. And that he only does it to survive, and because his friends do it and shit. And it was the most, like, ridiculous justification I've ever heard of anything. But just completely oblivious to what he actually does. Oh,
Bees!
I only do
love
what
you.
I need, you know. I've got morals, you know. I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do that. But over the past, like, previous 3 months, has done everything he said he'd never do.
I was about to say we didn't get a sexy Julius and Bailey
I do
scene.
not
What is
do
this?
what I do just because my friends do the same thing.
Well, at least a
It's
sexy
ridiculous.
ending.
Desmond likes to rob banks.
I think
can't
that scene
fucking
was
stand
pretty
it.
sick.
Like, I'm not just gonna join in for no fucking reason.
Yeah, it's just there. It's something to do, right?
Like, I can somewhat understand. I see why people have done it in the past, and maybe, I don't know, a year ago my mindset was somewhat similar. But these days, no, it's dumb as fuck. I got no reason to do that. Make more money doing other things, unless people end up dead because of it. But I do think maybe Desmond's more so chasing like a Mauser or a pump action or something. I think he won't stop going on about him. Don't get me wrong, like, back in the day, robbing banks, like, I enjoyed robbing banks. You make a good amount of money from there. Excitement, you get to shoot some people, but I don't particularly want to shoot law. I don't particularly need the money. And I've done it so many times that, like, what's the point? I've robbed every bank in state. What's the point of doing it again? I'm never going to do anything bigger than robbing the Saint Denis Bank, bank-wise. Just go from robbing Saint Denis to, oh yeah, we're back in Valentine again a month later. Ridiculous.
Love two sociopaths being so vulnerable around each other. Yup. And I loved that line because so much of what Julius does and what he wants.
How long have you been on the island for?
I got here a couple days ago now, I would say.
Has it been fairly busy for those few days?
No.
So no, last week it was a bit quiet.
No, it's still, I mean, like I said, we got the 2 new arrivals and all that, so it's better than nothing, but no, it's been rough. Honestly, that's why I'm really hoping this whole festival can sort of turn things around and stir up some interest, right? And that's why, again, I don't want to rush things, but I think making sure that we got ourselves some sort of plan. I mean, because who the fuck knows, right? I mean, I could see an up-and-coming gang read that event in the paper, think, oh, that sounds like an opportunity to go rob and cause a bunch of fucking mayhem, right? So, better to have a plan in place now than to be caught with our pants at our goddamn ankles.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong, I agree. I think a plan's probably the most important part.
But yeah, I mean, I really hope it does open the door and get more folk out here.
Do you have any, I guess, estimation of, you know, when you want this festival to be?
I mean, personally, I feel like I could do it as soon as next weekend. We might want a little more lead time than that. But, I mean, I'm definitely eager to get it going just to, just drum up that interest again, right?
I think maybe next weekend or the one after will work pretty well.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Next weekend if we can swing it, otherwise just do the one after.
I think if we do want to do it next weekend, pretty much over this weekend we need to get to work, like proper work. If
Yeah.
you need help with that, I'll be on the island to help if you need it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I appreciate that. I figure talk to Boone because I know he wants to be real involved in this, and see if he's thinking next weekend's too soon, or figure out who exactly we need to talk to and get involved outside of just you say 4 of us, including Herbie. Go from there.
Do you reckon the events, like, you're gonna need like security or anything for it? How do you reckon that's all gonna work? Or are we just gonna have faith that nothing goes wrong?
No, we're definitely gonna want some folk posted security. Cause like I said, especially when folk are coming in, I figure that's a good time to make sure that we got security. The gambling, that's gonna definitely want some security, and then I feel like close to the end, there ain't many criminals that are patient right. They're more likely to try to hit it earlier on.
Of course.
Probably safer then, but I mean,
But for the poke or something, we need security. I know plenty
exactly.
of fucking people I can pull over if we need to.
Yeah. Okay.
They'd have to get paid, obviously, to persuade them to come over, but
Sure.
I can get some money. We can get some money. That shouldn't be too difficult. Me, obviously, I care about the island, so I ain't looking for a fucking paycheck.
See, and that's one of the reasons why I rob banks, is to get my folk paid, but also so that I have a little spending money for things like this.
But if I stopped playing blackjack earlier, I would have quite a bit of spending money right now. But I didn't stop. It's fine. It's fine, really. Yeah, I mean, when it comes to like Redwater work, like obviously I enjoy Redwater. I want to do death races and shit. But when it comes to like contracts and money, I really don't care too much. Like as long as my people get paid, I'm happy. I seem to make plenty of money from just random acts of gambling and selling random things that I've had for years.
Yeah.
Listen, I went to the gun auction and my god, was it good. I enjoyed it very much. I'm hoping I don't get arrested between now and the next one so I can actually go to the next one.
I assume my guns did not make it through because I have not heard anything about them.
Yeah, I think the only guns really of note there were, I think, the Wallabies one. There's a Wallaby kit gun. Which I thought about buying, but then someone said $800 and I said, you know what, they're probably buying it for Wallaby, so I ain't gonna outbid them to buy it for Wallaby as well.
Yeah. Shit, I might have to have somebody try to dig in and see if they can find that goddamn picture.
A pistol, is it?
One that Michael gave me back in the day. And unfortunately, I had on me when we robbed that bank. I'm trying to think, like maybe I'll have somebody pretend like it was theirs and I stole it or something like that, right? Because I just
if you
know.
want to tell me what it's etched with, I can next gun auctions if it's there. Or the one after. So I do plan to keep going to them if I can.
See, here's what I worry about though, is that if it didn't show up the last 2, because there's been 2 since I've been arrested, I'm worried the law's hanging on to it because they think they can use some sort of leverage against me. Right? They ain't said nothing to me, but... And I would really hate to confirm that, yes, that gun is valuable. Right? So, I was hoping it was going to come through the damn auction, but...
I mean, I've heard some guns come into the auction really fucking late. So, I mean, maybe eventually they'll get bored of the entire, use it for leverage and put it into the thing.
Yeah.
I was told that some Redwater guns and one of Coho's guns was, like, selling for a fortune a few months ago.
Oh.
Not sure how true that is, but they must have took that gun, like, months and months beforehand.
I wonder what the most valuable guns are and what the least valuable guns are, right? Like, that's got to be interesting in and of itself. Like, which name is going to bring the higher, price, which one is nobody going to give a shit about?
I think it's still very much so the Wallaby Kid, Cesare, and Gavin Summers. I'm pretty sure that is the top three.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, it's the Gavin Summers deliberately made guns like fancy and shit because he knew they'd sell for a fucking fortune for no real good reason. So I'm pretty sure there's still some Gavin Summers guns around that he spent like $800 on, but will go for like $3,000. Guess
Yeah.
it's the kind of savvy to that. You know, if I ever get famous enough to actually warrant doing something like that, I might just make a series of guns and just, you know, give everyone I like one when I die, and they'll all be worth like $3,000. You know,
Uh-huh.
if I ever became as famous
Uh-huh.
as Summers did. Not that I think I ever fucking will, nor do I want to. Chasing fame for the most part seems to be a waste of time. I mean, how? How many... when you bring up... I'm not sure if you have brung the man up, but when I bring up Gavin Summers these days, 50% of the crossing have no idea who the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
mean, that
he's
is...
been dead for like only 4 months, which is just crazy to think about.
That's just the inevitability of it all, right? Is that things change so fast, new folk coming in every day, you know, people ain't remembering anything that didn't happen 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. This is kind of why I say, like, you know, legacy's cool and all, but everyone eventually gets forgotten, and it usually takes less than a year for the majority of people. Which I guess is a slightly sad thought to think about, but it's true.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only legacy really is in the folk that you knew personally, you know?
Mm-hmm. I'd agree. I think with Summers, legacy was about just, you know, everyone knowing his name. I think that's the same for Wallaby as well. From what I can read from him. He wants to be famous, he wants to be known, he wants to be the best outlaw ever, this, that, and the other. But if he died tomorrow, give it 6 months, well, he wouldn't be famous anymore. Even remotely.
And that's why he'll never be the best outlaw, because he thinks he already is.
Hmm.
I think that moment you think your work is done, and you're at the top of that goddamn mountain, never gonna see how how short you are falling.
Yeah, I hope I never get to the point where I think I'm done.
Go.
As I say, when I get bored, I work. If I didn't have work, I don't know what I'd be doing. I can't just go around drinking and gambling all day. That's like a boring life.
Yeah, I certainly like keeping my hands busy. Chippy. Okay. He is very determined. Hi, baby. Can you... Okay. No, she really wants to
Can't
go.
stop thinking against that like free-for-all idea on the north of the island now.
Oh, I love it. We have to do that at
That's
some
alright.
point.
I think the north of the island literally is the perfect place for that.
And do you mean like the north? Like you gotta take the boat
Like
over?
you take the boat, like that entire section past the boat.
Yeah. Like it.
It's just can you persuade like 12 people to all try and, you know, like fuck each other up for a cash prize? I'm sure you can, but you'd have to reach out to the right people, I reckon.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotta find the right combatants. Yeah, she's experiencing.
Also, of course, you'd probably have to buy a decent amount of boxes as well. That'd take a little bit of setup. If you want enough, I guess, tools for all of them to use, you need like at least double the boxes, so they actually have like a reason to go around, rather than
Yeah.
just run to the middle instantly. Maybe you could have like an audience or something. Like people can pay to watch. That could work.
Oh,
Kind
absolutely.
of pay for some of the other things. I'd love to get There's a lady in the crossing that like those those big cameras. They know how to like take photos real well. I remember we did it for Hawk's wedding. But if we could get them to come over and like get get loads of pictures of the event, it's starting, different people. Like if you could get them on the hill and they could get like I don't know how cameras work well enough to know how they'd have to set it up, but if they could get somewhere high and still get like a picture of it. You could probably put that up around somewhere here, or like you could I don't know, make reference to it in the paper if they make a Guama paper.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm really supposed to be working on the paper. I don't know where that stands right now, but hopefully it'll be up and running soon, because I think that's going to be a big boom for this place. Okay, Chibi, I hear you. He's so
Have
ready.
you heard all those rumors I keep hearing about gems on this island? I forget the name of the gem, but people keep going on about a specific gem.
The Black Onyx.
That's it.
That is, as far as I can tell, primarily a flight of fancy courtesy of Edgar.
That would make sense.
Yeah, he was running around telling everybody the Black Onyx is going to be found soon. They've found maybe one ever. And he just kept telling everybody, oh, this is how everybody's going to make all this money. You know, you got to get in now kind of thing, right? It just Edgar snake oil.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Koho were talking about like maybe what would be cool if people discovered on this island, or what might bring people here to like do trade, and other than just like fruit and rum and cigarettes and that kind of thing. We're talking about like let's say some people discovered some new herbs, or like that black onyx was like a gem that could actually be found fairly frequently in the mine. Things to just bring more people over here. Obviously these aren't things we control, but
Yeah.
if something like that appeared, like if there's new herbs, maybe we found some new gems, this place would become instantly a shit ton more popular.
It would be nice. That's why I figure at least, people still checking the mines and looking out in the jungle and all that, seeing what we can discover. But in the meantime, right, finding ways to focus on what Forma already offers, right? Which is perhaps a little more autonomy, perhaps a little less, people like the sheriff's department breathing down your shoulder, and, well, a little more freedom when it comes to misdeeds.
Of course. I mean, the best we can do right now is mainly focus on community, rather than, I guess, trade between Guam and the crossing. Because there's only so much trade you can do, but when it comes to building a community here, there's plenty you can do.
Yep.
Like this festival, for example.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. Give people something that they feel like they can't get or just don't have over on the crossing, Whether that is somebody looking for a community, or whether that's just a group of folk that feel stifled, backed into a corner in the cross, or whatever it may be, right? You want to form a little commune out here? Come do it. Hell, not only can you, pick a place, right? You can have a little bit of dominion over it. You're gonna have respect for folk, that sort of thing, right? I think that is quite tempting to certain folk.
Yeah, I'd agree. But the entire idea of having your own territory is very interesting. Because, I mean, sure, you can go somewhere in the crossing and say, oh, we run Van Horn, this, that, or the other. But, the law doesn't particularly care. Whereas here, you run some territory, you can be, you can help decide the rules, the law of that territory.
Exactly.
Like what you say actually means something. To think, like 4 months ago, I was debating, imagine if Redwater moved here and we moved into the castle. That'd be a very different timeline of events, I reckon.
Golly, was that around the time that Mills moved out there?
I think it's before that. I think we came out before
Or
Mills did.
that?
We kind of, tickets were a shit ton of money.
Oh, yeah, when they first opened the harbor, okay.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know if we had like 6 people at a time. I didn't know if I really wanted to take over the castle with just 6 people. It feels like, well, I mean, Edgar did it, but I feel like I'd want maybe like a full force, a full group of people there
Yeah.
to actually make the use of it. But I was speaking to Mishka about, well, when Edgar left or died or whatever, we all figured, there'd be like a big power vacuum. Someone else might try and move in the castle. I think with the way Edgar left, no one's actually really noticed too much, so that hasn't happened. But I was saying, to prevent such a vacuum or to prevent some random gang taking over the castle for the 6th time, that they should move Guarda in there.
You know?
I still think that's a good idea. The only issue is they just don't have enough Guarda.
Yeah,
Just not enough.
They don't have enough to hold it. Well, and the way I see it too is that part of the reason no one has stepped into the castle is because of the type of folk that are on Guarma right now, right? And I think sooner or later there's gonna be somebody who's gonna come here and they're gonna see that castle and think, "Wow, I want to stand on top of that," right? And in a way, I'm against that, right?
Mm-hmm.
There is some folk who need a building to feel powerful, right? They need a symbol, they need something to point at and say, "That's mine, I'm king of that fucking castle," right? And I say, let them run themselves ragged, or have at it kind of thing. Especially
Yeah,
if we build things up the way that, we're discussing, then I think whoever stands in that castle is going to be irrelevant. At least not the way that Edgar tried to run things, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd agree maybe thinking more to the future, but currently, I think anyone that's come from the crossing, let's say they've been beaten or they've been beaten down by the crossing. And they come here, they see the castle, ego, their power, on this, on this, on this. I think it just runs the risk of repeating Edgar again and again. At least until things are more established. Because a gang could move into there right now and start, fucking with people. And it would be an issue. I don't think it would be an easy... I don't think we could easily just deal with them as it stands. If a group of 6 moved into there now, this island will be in trouble. Without a doubt. Especially if the same ego and power trip, King of Guarma stuff happens again. Which, considering current outlaws, it's extremely likely.
See, the way I see it, right, is the castle is not the cause, but the symptom. And the kind of folk who are going to run around doing that shit, they're going to do it no matter where they stay in Guam, right? So, if anything, it tells us something about somebody who comes here and sees that castle and thinks, "Wow, I want that to be mine."
I can see that. I can see that. I just think maybe it's definitely not the cause. I just think maybe to some degree it maybe helps enable such an idea. I don't think, say Edgar was I don't know, he was staying in a village or he was staying at a camp with all those people. I don't think he'd, the same ego and the same, complex of being a king that he would where he's in the castle. I think the castle and the physical sign of power potentially enables that kind of thing. More so than it would if you went somewhere else. I guess another example, I hate to keep making examples about James Kelly, I try not to. But James Kelly did not act the same way he did. Let's be fair, James Kelly's better than he was, but he acts differently now that he's in Mercer than when he wasn't in Mercer. Like, he thinks he's more powerful. He thinks he's the face of the West. He thinks he's this, that, and that.
Sure.
He didn't think that so much before. Like, it's a symbol. It's a sign. It's a presence bigger than what he had before. I think that was the same with the Edgar situation. Like, it's a sign of power. And I think people, people believe the King of Guarma. People start to buy into Edgar's shit because such a sign of power stands there. If he was in a little camp saying he was the King of Guarma, do you think anyone would listen? Because I'm sure they fucking wouldn't. That castle represents something bigger than just Edgar himself. When Mills moved into it, it caused a problem. When Jack moved into it, it caused a problem. That castle enables it more so than just it shows, it provides an image.
Perhaps it's more about finding the right person or people to be in that.
I'd agree. I mean, that's why my thought originally was just, an offhanded thought of Guarda. That's a group that helps and is important for everyone on the island. They have a show of force and they're like, we're here, we're Guarda. Again, that gives the sign of don't fuck with us. Well, as it's just strategically better for them to take people that are injured there because it's, defensible, that kind of thing. I mean, even thinking now, maybe... Like, imagine if there was some kind of peacekeeping force. Imagine if both them and Guarda stayed at the castle. I think that would be beneficial for the island. Obviously, maybe, maybe we want people from the crossing or people that come here to, be able to build something at the castle. Considering it's probably one of the strongest strategic spots and paints a very heavy image, if you had some peacekeeping group as well as, the medic ranger people in there, it sets a precedent, it sets an example, as well as being defensively and offensively, an advantage. If any groups come to the Guarma from the crossing and try to fuck with shit, and let's say shit goes bad and people need to retreat and they need a neutral ground, they all retreat into the castle. And suddenly you've got loads of strong walls, you've got defensive path, and you have medics and people that are protecting the island already there, and that know the walls inside and out.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense.
So in a way it'd be... Then again, like I said, it'd be kind of similar to the compound, but just, not done by the militia.
No,
Like, it
it's
wouldn't be
exactly it.
militia's issue, I guess.
Yeah, we need to build something independent of the militia. I think that is important as well because, I mean, the militia is more interested in self-preservation than, day-to-day management, right? This would be something different.
Of course. And it is definitely interesting to get different perspectives, but just from, I guess, what I've seen and, seen in the past, back in the crossing, out west, that kind of stuff, that's I guess, the idea or the picture the castle paints for me.
Sure. Actually, speaking of which, is there anywhere in particular you're staying these days?
Not really. I'm kind of just like sometimes I sleep near the bar, sometimes I sleep in a random camp, sometimes in the village. It's very, I guess, everywhere. Kind of like how I am in the crossing.
Yeah, fair enough. I was just thinking if I was gonna leave you a note or something, where a good location for that.
Ooh. Actually, a good question. Maybe I should actually look around and try and find a more permanent residence, at least for now. Like, I think there's a lot in question right now as to what my future and who I'm going to be with and helping on the island. It's very up in the air right now.
Sure, sure.
As I said, I want to work with Delilah, but I also want to work with Rabbit, but I also want to work with you. It's a lot.
Definitely let me know. Even if it's just a place I know I can leave something, you're gonna find it kind of thing. Works, you know.
Well, I mean, I guess the camp I stay at the most, you know, the one opposite Diamonds. I know it's fairly popular with a couch and stuff on the cliff.
Yeah, yeah, I know the one.
Yeah, that's the one I usually tend to stay at.
Okay.
For my that's where my stuff's stored away on that barrel next to the bed.
Yeah, all right. Well, then if I ever got some, I'll leave it there.
Oh, that sounds good. Where do you stay specifically on the island?
I've actually been staying at Bailey's place lately.
Oh, is that so? Well, I know where to leave you a message then.
Yeah, you know, I figure, still same sort of thing, right? Figuring out where exactly I fit into this whole thing long term, and we'll see. We will definitely see.
I'm glad you, I guess you seem to, I'm glad you're getting along with Bailey pretty well.
Yeah, she's been teaching me how to fight better, like with knives and that sort of things.
Oh shit.
I wouldn't say hopeless, but definitely not trained in that area. So she's been helping me out there.
Yeah, it's definitely, something to get used to. Knife fighting, it's very, very different to what I expected. I remember practicing with Jim with machetes.
That poor bastard did so much training. Still
I
got
mean,
caught done.
I really hate to say this, and I don't want to seem disrespectful, but he wasn't good at knife fighting. Like, he really wasn't great at machete fighting. I kind of wish I told him that maybe a bit more, but even when I did suggest such an idea, I don't think he would have taken it or believed it anyway. Or at least let it stop him.
Man, wasn't he the one who picked the machetes out as the weapon too?
Potentially.
Unfortunate, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, sometimes just when it comes to fighting can be real weird, you know, sometimes. Like, I feel like I could beat anyone unless they're Australian, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Christ, I remember fucking Danny Carrigan beating my ass. Oh, it's Billy Joe Barber that beat my ass. That's funny. That's funny to think about. Guess I got the last laugh in the end.
Right. Well, I am wiped. I think I'm gonna call it a night. But yeah, I'm sure I'll be seeing you soon. We'll this thing all figured out and planned.
Yeah, I'll be around. I'll be around.
All right. Take care of yourself.
Have a good night.
The reactions to Julius saying that he's staying at Bailey's are never not hilarious.